Brony bros. We all dance at the gay club. Oh my God, we're just having fun on the stage in our hooves. I'm wearing a man thong down at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on crapping down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on crapping at the Pink Brony Club. Pink Brony Club. Welcome to the Michael Garza Show, everybody. We're live. We're large. We're in charge. We're ready to roll, man. We are ready to party. Oh, gotta pop my neck a little bit. But yeah, no, welcome to the show, everybody. It is good to see you all, and we are talking about Trump's tariffs. Now, these global tariffs, this is going to be interesting, man. I don't know how to react to this. Should I react positively? Should I react negatively? Honestly, I'm kind of on the side of positive. Look, I think that the tariffs are a good thing. Is the market crashing as a result? Sure. But here's the thing. As much as I want a good stock market, I really do. And I'll probably end up buying I always buy the dip. What am I saying? At the same time, I'm not, everybody's freaking out that the market is crashing. They're like, OMG, the market's crashing. But it doesn't really matter. People will freak out about anything, though. That's just the way the world works. And no, I'm happy that the markets are crashing. And people are like, what are you? You're a sick bastard. That's people's 401ks. It's people's livelihood. Well, here's the thing. Markets will go down. Eventually, markets go back up. It's as simple as that. And if you have a well-diversified portfolio, you honestly don't have to worry about your net worth. One of the reasons that I sleep so soundly at night is because I'm a heavily diversified investor. That's the point. The more diversified you are, the better off you'll be. So that is my philosophy, stay diversified to every extent and you'll be fine. Otherwise, if you're not diversified, you're only screwing yourself at the end of the day. I think that most people need to remain diversified in order to preserve their wealth. And I mean, when I say diversified, I mean across all asset classes, not just stocks. I think you should be exposed to real estate. Even if that exposure is through real estate investment trusts, you should be exposed to precious metals, even if that exposure is through precious metal ETFs like gold or silver ETFs, which honestly, I love both of those. Those have been very handy. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the SLV. I've been swing trading the SLV quite a bit, which has been good. Let me, speaking of which, you guys are going to have to give me 1 second here. Give me just a few more seconds. Okay. So, give me a few more moments. I'm going to put up a poll. We're going to talk about Trump's tariffs here in just a little bit. Got to get the poll going. Don't forget to tap the like button, though. The more likes we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. Here we go. All right, we got a poll going. Okay, let's react to some of the things that are happening. So I do want to give you my thesis that ultimately, at the end of the day, I think the global tariffs are a good thing. I think increasing it. I think it was at 10% originally, and now it's at 15%. So, okay, that increase is not exactly favorable at the moment, but it's a 5% increase. That does matter. But at the end of the day, man, we got to pay down the national debt. And if we have to do it through tariffs, so be it. So be it. I think that if we have to do it by tariffs, so be it. Let it happen. Because our national debt is out of freaking control, dude. And I understand. I completely understand why Trump loves tariffs. I love tariffs too. That was actually one of my favorite things about Trump was him promoting tariffs. So when the Supreme Court made their decision, I was like, I don't know. So yeah, like I said, huge fan of tariffs. And we're going to take a look and see how it's affecting everything. This will only take just a few moments. Let's see. Stock market. Give me just a moment, you guys. I'm kind of looking up like stock market news. Let me take a look at news here. Let me see what happens for news. Give me just a second, everybody. I am kind of curious to see what CNBC is saying, even though I can't stand Fox Business or CNBC. I think they both suck. Christopher says it's wrecking the world's economies. How so? It's like a 5% increase. Wasn't the global tariffs like 10% before, and now it's just 15%? So that's just a 5% increase. Now, granted, 5% does mean something, but at the same time, man, why is everybody so against tariffs? Like, I want to know why. I want to know if he really loves me. I want to know. But anyway, give me a second here. All right, let's see here. Oh, navigating the software as a service apocalypse. I'm kind of curious about this subject.
Salesforce, Snowflake, a few other software names falling sharply to start the week again.
Yeah.
AI disruption
I don't know much about these services.
Barbosa has more on the SaaS apocalypse in today's Tech Check. Did you coin that?
I think it was a Wall Street brokerage, but it came a few weeks ago.
Interesting.
And look, we're still talking about it. We're probably going to talk about it for a while because some of the biggest names in software, they're gearing up to report this week. And the question for them is simple. Can any of them say...
What's up, Sam? Sam Westall. Samuel Westall, everybody. Give him a shout-out, boys. Everybody give Samuel Westall a sexy shout-out. Let's go, bro. Let's go, dude.
To change the narrative here.
Westall.
Because right now, even winning is not enough. ServiceNow and Palantir have already reported, both showing real traction, yet investors, they aren't buying it. Look at the direction of their stock prices since reporting. And then there was another piece over the weekend from a popular investment newsletter titled The 2028 Global Intelligence Crisis. It is adding more fuel to the fire. Now, this is a thought experiment that plays out what happens if AI works so well that it hollows out the white-collar economy. It's going viral because it puts a name on what the software sell-off is already pricing in. Now, this week may be software's biggest test yet. You've got Salesforce on Wednesday, the bellwether for enterprise software, Snowflake the same day, and then Workday tomorrow night, the back-office giant that has to answer whether HR and finance software survives when AI can automate those workflows.
Yeah, honestly, if AI can automate HR and other certain tasks, how valuable are some of these companies going to be? You know, I mean, are they going to implement some sort of AI product through their service that will allow it all to be easier, that it can be affordable as well? I think that these companies could go down in flames, unfortunately. As much as I love software as a service, some of these companies, man, as much as I love these companies, I just don't think that their products are diversified enough. You know what I mean? I love Salesforce, but I don't think they have a decent product pipeline, but their entire product pipeline severely revolves around software as a service. And Samuel Westall is asking, what are you watching, Garza? Oh, shit, I don't even have it on the screen. Hold on, I realized I didn't even put the video that we're watching on the screen. That's totally my bad. Here we go. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. My bad.
directly. There's a chart circulating from Goldman Sachs that might explain why investors are nervous even when the numbers look fine. It shows newspaper stocks from 2002 to 2009. As they fell, earnings held up and the business looked okay until all of a sudden it was not. Now the market saw...
Yeah, so this is crazy. Are these software as a service companies going to crash the same way that the newspaper companies did when they started becoming more and more irrelevant? No, Samuel Westall, I'm definitely all on board with the AI revolution, man. I'm completely on board with the AI revolution. In fact, I believe in the AI revolution quite a bit. I know there's a lot of people who are resistant to AI, and I totally get people's sentiments, but yeah, I'm pretty much on board with AI at this point. I know that, like I said, that people think the AI apocalypse is going to happen, but I don't know. I think people tend to over-exaggerate matters. That's my belief. But yeah, I'm all on board with AI. I understand why people are freaking out, though, and AI is only going to get better and better. And I think the demand for AI is going to be there. So I'm loaded up on AI stocks just in case. Who knows? I mean, I don't have my life savings in AI stocks, but I do have a lot of AI stocks, especially decent AI penny stocks that appear to be very, very lucrative. So super happy about it.
Internet disruption coming and priced it in years before the P&L confirmed it. So the worry is that software is in the same pattern right now. Earnings, they're still holding. We may see that this week, but the stocks are in free fall and the market may be pricing in a world where AI agents are doing the work that software was built to help humans do. And guys, that is now what's hitting those cybersecurity stocks. Not that anyone is replacing CrowdStrike in a single prompt, as George Kurtz posted about, but when agents can write and they can deploy code, they can also scan and patch it. Companies reporting this week, they're going to have to show that they're not the thing being disrupted. Rather, they're the thing doing the disruption. And that is a difficult...
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if these companies are implementing AI into their software and making it to where the companies that they're serving are getting the benefit of that, then sure. I mean, but there has to be some sort of value. If these AI companies can implement AI agents to do exactly what these software as a service companies are doing, then I'm not sure these software as a service companies can keep up. Honestly, I'm totally fine. Look, anytime AI takes my job, I mean, it sucks that AI is taking people's jobs. It really does. But at the same time, I mean, if the job can be done by AI, let AI do the job, and let's save important jobs for human beings, instead of human beings doing menial tasks. That's my version, that's my viewpoint of it, but, that's just me. If you guys can, though, please subscribe to the channel. We're only one subscriber away from hitting 8,400 subscribers. We're at 8,399 subs. Only one subscriber away from hitting 8,400. So who is going to be the 8,400 subscriber? I don't know, dude. Oh, we just hit 8,400. Hell yeah, dude. Let's keep going.
To do in this environment, guys.
Yeah, I love that element about the delay, the lag, because B of A last week had a chart of Blockbuster and Netflix. When Netflix came around, it took 8 years for Blockbuster to essentially go away. And as for that Substack you mentioned, the Citrini research.
I will say, crazy fun fact, Netflix offered Blockbuster to buy them as a company. Could you imagine if Blockbuster would have purchased Netflix? If Blockbuster would have owned Netflix, Blockbuster would still be around today. In fact, you know what? Thank you for subscribing to the Michael Garza Show. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Hey, let's give a shout-out to Isaac Peppers. Thank you so much for subscribing, Brony. Everybody, one more time, shout-out to Isaac Peppers. We're going to put your name back up on the board here, bud. Isaac Peppers, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing to the Michael Garza Show. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner.
Piece which is now making the rounds. I mean, their argument, D, is that software is the opening act, and the same calculus that would push a service now to cut headcount could apply to any company with a white-collar workforce.
Right, and then you think about security, cybersecurity, and this has been talked about as one of the most difficult industries to disrupt. You could also talk about legal and healthcare. There's really zero tolerance in these industries, and what a lot of folks are saying is that.
Yeah, I miss Blockbuster too, dude. There's only one Blockbuster that remains, and I think it's in Bend, Oregon. I think its doors are still open. But yeah, I loved Blockbuster as a kid. I loved walking through those doors and seeing all the different video games and movies that were available. Another thing is, I mean, Netflix definitely killed. Well, here's the thing. Netflix offered more convenience. I mean, here's the thing about Netflix, man. Netflix, when they first started, was like, hey, we'll mail you the DVDs. We'll mail you the video games. And, there was much more convenience. You didn't have to go anywhere to get your DVDs and shit,
They are not going to be replaced tomorrow. That is absolutely true. Yeah. But, I mean, it's getting...
Are we seeing the slow death, though, of software as a service because of AI? Is it possible that software as a service companies will die because of AI? I think so. I think that could easily happen. Very much so. I think Salesforce is going to be fine because Salesforce offers very incredible frameworks and stuff. But I will say, though, Salesforce needs to adapt. They better make sure that they're on their AI game on point,
Envision a future like this Citrini note does, in which the technology gets better, right? Like right now, the technology is the worst it's going to be. So you're not going to create something with one prompt, but a year from now, 6 months from now, can you recreate a prototype in a few prompts, 100 prompts? I mean, that's where this starts to get really complicated, and that is what the market is pricing in.
Yes, but you used the newspaper example, right? You said that was the parallel. I mean, look at the New York Times. Pull up a long-term chart of that stock. That would have been a huge buy when it was, $6 a share, and is now trading at a record. So there are potential winners here for those that figure it out.
Here's what I would ask, though. Is the New York Times still a newspaper company? Like, absolutely not, right? It made sure that it wasn't the thing that was being disrupted. It became sort of the disruption, right? Has all this other revenue from gaming and recipes and all these other, revenue streams. And that's what, for example, like a Figma is doing, right? I spoke to Dylan.
In any company that you invest in, this is not financial advice by any means, but any company you invest in, you want to make sure that they have a large product pipeline and a diversified product pipeline. For example, Coca-Cola. They don't just sell Coca-Cola soda. They also do other things. Coca-Cola sells frickin' bottled water, for God's sakes. They sell energy drinks. They sell all sorts of things. So Coca-Cola will always, as long as they have a large product pipeline that is heavily diversified, Coca-Cola is going to be around for a while, man. Coca-Cola is not going anywhere.
Field last
in
week,
theory.
And he said he did a partnership with Claude Code, right? He's kind of like welcoming the wolves into the den, but investors like that. And, Figma is going to be disrupted in some way, but it's also sort of on the disrupting side by partnering with an Anthropic.
I would never invest in the New York Times, though, because I do believe they're a woke publication, and I do believe that once you go woke, you go broke.
And Claude Code that is behind everything.
It's the companies that can figure out how to do that in the software space that'll look like great buys right now. But in the meantime, it's just a sell.
Yeah. By the way, a 1 year of an IGV.
No, I still believe in Salesforce, though. I think Salesforce is a fantastic company, and I think that it's always going to be around, just because they offer very good frameworks and make it to where I don't know. I mean, as long as they get with the program, with the whole AI program, then I think they'll be fine. But these software as a service companies need to get on board with AI completely.
Has a lot of technicians
or they will die.
Talking today about sort of a flag pattern that established over the last couple of weeks, which is clearly getting broken today with the price action that we're talking about.
Yeah, ugly looking charts all around. Deirdre, we'll see what the earnings show us. Deirdre Bosa.
Well, shit. Give me just a few moments, everybody. Looking into this a little further. Let's see. Let's take a look at this news report.
5:35 now. President Donald Trump announced that he is raising global tariffs to 15% from the
15%, baby.
10% he imposed a day earlier. The back-to-back tariff announcement came after
I don't think
the
it's a
Supreme
bad
Court
thing.
handed down a decision on Friday, ruling that the sweeping emergency tariffs that Trump imposed last year are illegal. But the High Court's ruling only applies to the duties Trump imposed using one specific law. And the president.
Yeah, and he used the emergency one. So he was like, oh, okay, well, then I'll just raise the global tariff rate from like 10% to 15%. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. Look, we got to pay down this national debt somehow. And if we have to do it through tariffs, so be it. So freaking be it, dude. That's the way I look at it. If we got to pay through tariffs, we got to pay through tariffs. I got to say, bro. That's all I got to say. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean.
The president immediately responded by saying that he will now rely on other legal authorities to keep tariffs in place.
Other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected.
The whole thing is a farce.
The law that Trump is relying on for his new 15% global tariffs requires that Congress approve the duties within 150 days for them to remain in effect. As for the tens of billions of dollars U.S. companies paid after Trump raised tariffs last year, Democrats are demanding the money be refunded.
Why should the money be refunded? Let's use it to pay down the national debt. Let's use that. Let's use those extra dollars to pay down the national debt. How's that sound? Sounds pretty good to me. No, let's not tax billionaires. Why should we tax billionaires more because you can't manage your money? No. Because you can't manage your money, we have to tax billionaires more? Why should we tax billionaires more? That offers zero incentive to the billionaires. You know what I mean? Look, billionaires create businesses, all right? Whether you like to admit it or not, billionaires create businesses, straight up. Give me 1 second here. Oh, shit.
And back to our breaking news. Nick Reiner has pleaded not guilty to the murder of his parents, director Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner. KTLA's Gene Kang, live in downtown.
Well, I think there's a lot of evidence to point to the fact that he allegedly did. Now, we're going to see what happened. We're going to see what they're reporting here.
LA with the latest for us. Gene, good morning.
Good morning, Frank and Jessica. Well, we were just upstairs here at the Criminal Justice Center in downtown Los Angeles in a packed courtroom with dozens of folks from the media. As you mentioned, that judge just said that there was an enter of a not guilty plea. That was by Nick Reiner, who was in court today and appeared focused as he was talking to his public defender, Kimberly Green, as well as addressing the judge. 32-year-old Nick Reiner entered that not guilty plea to 2 counts of first-degree murder, accused of stabbing his father, iconic Hollywood director Rob Reiner, and his mother, Michelle Singer Reiner, to death.
I'm curious to see what the comments say on this video.
In their Brentwood home last December, Reiner appeared calm today, making eye contact with the judge and saying yes when asked if he understood the plea. That was the only time that we heard from him. Alongside public defender Kimberly Green, Reiner waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. DA Hochman says that the case is on track with the bulk of discovery already.
Well, I mean, he is innocent until proven guilty. So we'll see what the evidence shows, and we'll see if he's actually guilty. You know, I think you guys know what my answer is, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he was set up. I don't know.
Turned over to the defense. The coroner's report will be provided once it's released. Hochman also confirming this is a death penalty eligible case, that the decision is on whether to pursue it to still being, that of course is a big decision. They're going to still weigh that. The defense.
They'll probably do. My assumption is, and this is my assumption, I could be wrong. I think they're going to do an insanity plea. That's what I believe.
Defense has been invited to present their case to the DA's office on that question. And the next court date is April 29th, when a preliminary hearing date will be set. Now, as of right now, we know this is such a big case. There is international media here as well. The district attorney, Hochman, spoke just moments ago outside of the courthouse.
This case is a death penalty eligible case. Along those lines, we take the process in which we determine whether or not the death penalty should be sought extremely seriously, and it goes through a very rigorous process. We will be looking at all aggravating and mitigating circumstances, and we have invited defense counsel to present to us, both in writing and orally in a meeting, any arguments that they would like to make.
Well, if you're going to put down the death penalty, I mean, there better be evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. All right.
In consideration for our going forward or not going forward with the death penalty.
And in such a big case like this, with dozens of media inside, the way that we got indoors was we had to get a ticket, wait in line, and then process ourselves into the courtroom. However, the arraignment itself, Frank and Jessica, that took less than 60 seconds when that not guilty plea came down. We know that there was an older couple inside. They may have been part of the Reiner family. When we approached them, they did not make any comments, and they exited in a private elevator. Reporting live here in downtown Los Angeles, Gene Kang.
That's crazy, bro. That is wild. Seriously. Crazy. Well, let's take a look at Trump. Let's look at Trump real quick. Do you guys want to watch some David Kuckman? I call him David Kuckman.
The Trump brothers collapsed.
So David Pacman is one of the worst people on YouTube. I'm going to give him a thumbs down, as I always do.
In a train wreck interview. This interview was a really bad.
If you guys happen to love this a-hole, subscribe to his channel. I refuse to subscribe to David Kuckman.
Idea. And I don't know who thought that it would go well.
This guy right here is such an arrogant prick. I can't stand him, dude. David Pacman is terrible. Like, he is so fucking annoying. Like, he's terrible. Let's keep going. Let's keep rolling.
Two oldest sons, Don Jr. and Eric Trump, appeared on CNBC and were interviewed by Sarah Eisen. This was surrounding their World Liberty Forum in Palm Beach, I guess. As many of you know, the Trump family has used cryptocurrency to self-enrich to
crypto is grifto, for sure. And I'm not a fan of that. I can't watch David Pacman. I had changed my mind. He's just so annoying. I think his whole delivery is fucking annoying. If David Pacman wasn't so annoying, I might be able to watch him. I might. But he really sucks. He's an arrogant prick, and he's one of the worst commentators on YouTube. Like, he's terrible. Oh, they're discussing the Mar-a-Lago shooting. Let's see.
News Channel. Good morning to you, Laura.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, what is your reaction? I mean, this is the third time in, 2 years that someone has tried to take his life, possibly?
And this needs to stop. These assassination attempts must end. We got to stop with these. People have become so crazy. Like, the level of Trump derangement syndrome out there is out of this world. It's a problem, man. It is a straight up problem. And yeah, it's wild. Give me a moment. Oh crap, it looks like downtown Coos Bay is extremely flooded right now. Or it was at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Holy smokes, man. Yeah, I don't really plan on going anywhere. If I do go somewhere, I'm probably going to just walk. Let's see. Let's keep going, man.
What's your reaction? What's the family's reaction?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to commend the United States Secret Service and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. They did an incredible job. Obviously, there were no innocent people who were harmed in this. But you're right, Ainsley. You know, I would like to say I'm surprised by this, but sadly, I'm not, because this is the third time in 2 years someone has tried to murder my father-in-law, our president of the United States. And, you know, you would think that something like this would encourage everyone, Republicans, independents, and yes, even Democrats, to stand up and say, you know what, we can't operate.
Yeah, this needs to stop. I know that people hate Trump, but there's a lot of people who love Trump. Like, we don't think he's a bad guy. We know you guys think he's a bad guy, but you guys are morons. You know, I didn't like Biden. I can't stand Joe Biden, but never would I ever want to encourage anything bad to happen to him? Never. Like, he's a good dude. Like, I mean, okay, he's not a good dude, but like, Biden was one of the worst presidents we've ever had, straight up. If anybody tried to do anything to Biden, I would have said no. I would have been like, no, hell no. You know? It's crazy. It's
like
wild.
This stuff isn't okay. It's been deafeningly silent from one side of the political aisle, and I will say I've heard a lot of Republicans come and speak out against this in the past 24 hours. Not a lot of folks from the left, and that is noted by almost everyone in this country. But look, it took...
Yeah, it's because leftists are unhinged and deranged. Most leftists are extremely deranged people.
My father-in-law actually being shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, for Biden to come out at the time and say, maybe the rhetoric is a little too hot.
Yeah, the rhetoric is a little too hot, because could you imagine, by the way, Trump he was almost killed, man. He got shot. The bullet grazed and hit his ear. Like, that's insane to me. That should have never happened, ever, not in a million years. That should have never, ever, ever happened, straight up.
We've gone a little overboard here. It may have been too late, though, because 2 months later, we know that the guy at the golf course...
Yep, exactly. The guy at the golf course tried to get... He set up an entire thing to get... It's just... It's so infuriating. It really is.
Take his life there. We all watched as our friend Charlie Kirk was murdered in cold blood. A guy,
very true. Very true.
Fearing father and husband who dared to engage with the other side of the aisle. That was, I guess, his crime. And you know, you have to ask yourself, whenever you just casually...
Charlie Kirk's crime was he revealed how stupid leftists are, and leftists were pissed that they got exposed for being morons. That's the truth. Leftists got exposed for being morons, and Charlie Kirk was the one who exposed them for being dumb. And that's why I love Charlie Kirk, man. He was a great guy. And I forever am grateful for him. for getting Trump into office. Like, single-handedly, I think he was one of the big reasons that that young people voted for Trump. And after Charlie was assassinated by a crazed-out leftist, yeah. And by the way, anybody who says that the guy who killed Charlie Kirk wasn't a leftist, the dude had a trans furry boyfriend. Just let that sink in, okay? Now, that's some leftist behavior right there.
Throw around terms like Nazi, like fascist, like Hitler and racist. What do you think the consequences of that ultimately will be? We are better than this as a country, and I'll tell you as a
I'd like to believe we're better than this as a country. I'd like to believe that.
Family member, I keep wondering, how many chances does one man get? He's not going to be lucky enough at some point. Thank God he wasn't at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, and as long as here's the thing, as long as there's a good Secret Service perimeter, at a lot of different places, then it'll be fine. But no, the left is too unhinged. Like, this is one of the reasons why I will never vote Democrat, is because Democrats made me you know, it's funny. Trump wasn't the main, as much as I love Trump, and I loved him well before he became president, even back in 2016. I loved him well before then. And I voted for him 2016, 2020, and 2024. What really turned me into a Trump voter were Democrats. Democrats are the leading cause of Trump being the president. You want to know why? Because Democrats are so crazy. The party has become the party of the Karen. And because the party's gone off the rails and represents the craziest of us all, there's a reason. Democrats, you know, the irony is Democrats create more Trump voters every day. Democrats create more Republican voters every day, or third-party voters. There are some people who flat out refuse to vote Democrats because the wokeness has gotten so far out of hand. Yeah, I refuse to vote Democrat, straight up. I flat out refuse to vote Democrat. Never, ever, ever, ever. Screw that. Screw that, dude. Yeah, I'll never vote Democrat, and I'm proud of that.
And the First Lady wasn't there this weekend, but you don't get lucky every single time, guys.
But Laura, do you think, I mean, your husband has been public about this, and Eric is the calm son. And he's like, are we going to get information? So are we going to get information about this one as well? Because it seems like...
Hey, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Like I said, it really helps us. We're trying to grow at a rapid rate, so please subscribe to the channel as soon as possible. Let's go. But no, Democrats create Trump voters every day. The Democrat Party creates newer Trump voters every day, because the more we see these crazy unhinged leftists on TikTok, the more we're just like, yeah, I'm voting for whatever you guys hate, I'm voting for it. Basically, so whatever the Democrats hate, they hate. So all the Democrats hate Trump, right? I'm going to vote for Trump. All the Democrats hate J.D. Vance. I'm voting for J.D. Vance. The Democrats actually help me choose who to vote for. So whoever the Democrats hate the most, I'm going to vote for that person. If they all hate J.D. Vance the most, I'm going to vote for J.D. Vance. Straight up.
Every single time this happens, there's a vacuum, and we don't figure out bodies are being burned before we get the full investigation, and we don't understand what the motivations are, who inspired them, the online traffic, text messages, and all of that.
Yeah, well, Lawrence, hopefully this time is different, because we know who this FBI director is, we know this attorney general, and we know this president is in charge right now. So I will tell you, I know all three of those individuals are going to work very hard to get to the bottom of this. I found it rather disgusting online that there are people who were saying, well, this wasn't an assassination attempt because the president wasn't even there.
That's crazy. Yeah, how did the person know whether... Because you know what I mean? They're not going to like publicly announce that Trump is at Mar-a-Lago if he's... You know what I mean? For all we know, the person like legitimately thought Trump was at Mar-a-Lago and was there to try to kill him. That's... For people saying that that's not an assassination attempt, no, that's an assassination attempt straight up. Just because Trump ultimately wasn't there, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
You don't show up to someone's home with a shotgun and a can of gasoline.
You don't. That's so messed up. Yeah.
Intentions. You don't. It's very obvious what this was all about. This was a person who wanted to, at the very least, cause violence and hurt people.
Yeah, Democrats are insane, though. The Democrats are, like, legitimately insane. I can't stand the Dems, dude.
And it happened at the very public home of the President of the United States. This is one of the most fortified properties, I would say, in the entire country. And so to breach, you know, the security measures there and go in like this, you can only assume one thing. But yes, Lawrence, I think it's very important that we get to the bottom of what all of this is. And I appreciate what Dan Bongino had to say there. Whether or not this was an individual working alone or with more people, we've never gotten answers on a lot of that in the past. I sure hope we get them here.
Laura, lastly, I'm concerned about you and your family and your extended family. You know, they're very public. We see all the time. And these people, these deranged lunatics, and it looks like this guy is one of them.
Yeah, I would be scared for Trump's family on this one. I really would be. Absolutely scared for Trump's family, dude.
Well, it's the last one that was around your golf course that's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Do you worry about that? And do you feel that the Secret Service is watching you and your family?
Yeah, well, listen, we're very lucky, Brian. We do have Secret Service protection for ourselves, for our children, and we feel very safe with them. But, you know, all it takes is one person to have bad intentions, and bad things can happen. And maybe it's not just to us. Maybe it's the people who are around us. The bottom line here is we're better than this as a country. We all saw and celebrated that great hockey win yesterday. I know you guys have been talking about that. That's the kind of country America is. Go back to 1980, whenever that was the spirit of the country came together to support that hockey team. We should all take what we saw yesterday, that big hockey win, and say, you know what? We're more like.
By the way, USA, dude. That was I can't believe we won in we won in OT basically. That's crazy. But yeah, Trump's the man, dude. Trump is the man. If you guys love Trump as much as I do, please subscribe to the channel. More subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. So yeah, I love Trump, dude. I think Trump's the man. So if you guys love Trump as much as I do, please subscribe. Let's go.
Than we are different. We're the greatest country on earth. We can all celebrate that. We have a president in the White House right now who's working overtime to deliver for the people of this country. He has put his entire life aside to do it, and now he's put his life on the line multiple times. I'm not personally worried about myself. Again, we are very protected, but I am worried about the future of this country. We fought in 2024 to put this president in office so that my kids and your kids and everybody's children in America got to grow up in the same great country that we did. This kind of stuff really makes me question what is going on out there and what kind of country are we ultimately going to be turning over to our children.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Well said, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno.
This is wild, bro. This is wild. Crazy. Frog eat frog. What's going on, Brony? Nah, dude, Trump's the man, bro. Hey, Todd Wilkins, dude, Trump's the man. Trump is the GOAT, bro. Frog eat frog says frog eat frog, everybody. Let's go. Let's get my Brony bro a round of applause. Yo, I'm looking a little rough today. Yeah, I'm a little tired. I didn't exactly sleep very well last night. I may need to drink some water here in a second, but let's keep looking. Oh. Let's see. Oh shit, Pat Bet David. Let's see what's going on, man. We're talking about the tariffs, dude. I'm not the biggest fan of Pat Bet David, but they do touch on some very interesting subjects on this channel, so I do got to give him some props. Let's do it, man.
Tariffs. Trump raises global tariffs to 15%. Obviously, we know what happened with Supreme Court ruling 6-3 against the tariffs. The president tweeted something, Rob, if you want to pull that up, Truth Social. Tom, I'm going to come to you first on this one here. The one on the lower case, Rob, that we had this morning we were looking at. So here's the president. Based on a thorough, detailed, and complete review of the ridiculous, poorly written, extraordinary, anti-American decision tariffs issued yesterday, after months of contemplation by the U.S. Supreme Court, please let the statement, sir, that I, the President of the United States, will be effective immediately, raising the 10% worldwide tariffs on countries, many of which have been ripping the U.S.
I'll drink some water here in just a
without
second.
retribution until I came along to the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. During the next short number of months, the Trump administration will determine and issue the new and legally permissible tariffs, which will continue our extraordinary successful process of making America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Rob, there's another tweet as well that he did towards tariffs, if I'm not mistaken, that we were looking at this morning. No, not this one. Not this one. Go back to that one. Let me see what it says right there. My new hero in the United Supreme Court is Justice Brett Kavanaugh and, of course, Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that they want to make America great.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I'm on board with the tariffs. I'm on board with Trump raising the tariffs, straight up. I think it's a good thing. I think, dude, we got to pay down the national debt. How else are we going to pay down the national debt? You tell me. Tell me, how are we going to pay down the national debt? Let's go, dude.
Again. So you know what he's saying there. Tom, where are you at with this now after the announcement that was made last Friday was sudden? What's he saying here, Rob?
This is where it calls out Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett.
Whether people like it or not, never seems to happen with Democrats. They vote against Republicans and never against themselves almost every single time, no matter how good a case we have. At least add in a point, Roberts, who led the efforts to allow foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years to continue to do so, but we won't let it happen. The new tariffs, totally tested and accepted as law, are on their way. President Donald Trump. Tom, thoughts?
So a couple things here. First of all,
I'm stoked he raised the global tariffs, though. He needed to do it, dude. He needed to do it, bro. We needed it.
In the midst of the cacophony, you had Rand Paul step up and said, "Look, we don't want a president to use executive order when the power of executive order isn't there, because the precedent is."
No, why not, dude? Honestly, when it comes to tariffs, why the hell not? Especially, it's an emergency. We were getting ripped off by China. That's an emergency, in my opinion. That's a damn emergency, bro. We were getting ripped off by China. By the way, if you guys love Trump as much as I do, please subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
When we have a liberal president or somebody from the other side, you're going to get stuff coming back the other way. We have to do this orderly. But Rand Paul is not necessarily, anti-tariff. So on one hand, I get it. I get that we don't want to use the executive order if there's not authority. However, on the other side, we have been doing nothing. And what President Trump showed was leadership on tariffs, which I agreed with. We got people to give us trade deals. We got people that come to the negotiating table and got things shifted. That he's right. For we had decades, certain industries were at disadvantage, and our own government didn't care about our own people in our own industries that were going through it. And Trump went out and did it. Now, what I don't like is the politicization with ignorance. And the politicization with ignorance is the Dems and the liberals that think, we stopped Trump. Wait, what did you stop? The tariffs have been working. There was not rampant inflation. CPI came out and it was 0.1, 2.3, and 2.4 year over year. You have to give a leader the ability to lead. And what's happening here is what's behind the scenes. The globalists and the liberals want this one world government. They don't want leaders to lead from a sovereign position. And so they're trying to stop.
Yeah, I'm afraid of the one world government, to be honest. Like, that actually does kind of keep me up at night, straight up. Like, I am afraid of a one world government's scary. Like, I think there needs to be separate nations, obviously. I think the U.S. needs to run its own government. I think governments in the Middle East, they need to run their own governments. They need to do their thing, right? And also, America needs to stop trying to change the world as far as like going into other countries and trying to be the savior of those countries. And stop saying that we're trying to bring democracy. Democracy is a failed idea. It always has been. That's why we're a constitutional representative republic at the federal level. Anyway.
Him. But what you're seeing with Trump is he's trying to lead. And it's very tough for a leader to lead in a committee environment. And that's exactly what you have in government. And he's trying to sit down, get to certain points, and push them. And so the Supreme Court decision disappointed me because I read it and I believe that there is executive order capability in the area of tariffs. They're saying no. But Scott Besson has been saying for a year that they have other tools. To me, it's not that they have other tools to get it done. They're going to get it done for our economy. He's not going to give up. The issue is we've got liberals that think it's a good thing that you've incapacitated your leader from making...
No, but yeah, straight up, we're a constitutional representative republic. That's all we are. You know, we have hints of democracy. Obviously, there's democracy in getting those representatives in, sure. But at the end of the day, we're not a full-on democracy, and we never will be, and we never should be. We should never be a full-on democracy. That's a bad idea, bro.
Good decisions for your country to right wrongs that have been going on for decades, and you don't like him, so anything but him. That's the part that sickens me. The part that sickens me is no one is looking at the success we've had on trade, Pat. No one's looking at the success we've had negotiating with people. It's just anti-Trump. And that's the part that just pisses me off.
I want you to see this clip, and then Vinny, I'm coming to you. Okay. Go ahead, Rob.
Justices Gorsuch and Barrett, are you surprised in particular by their decision today? And do you regret nominating them?
I don't want to say whether or not I regret. I think their decision was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to regret nominating these people. But I'm pretty sure he's not thrilled with their decision, obviously. He's not happy with the decision. Why would he be? You could tell he's not happy about it. You could tell he's pissed. But I don't think he regrets nominating them, no. But he's definitely pissed about their decision. That's true.
I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth? The two of them. Yeah.
By the way, he started soft, and in his mind, he says, Trump, go. It's an embarrassment to their family. So at first he was soft. Vinny, where do you stand?
Well, I mean, like honestly, is anybody out there surprised? It's been an uphill battle, to say the least, from 2016 with Russia, Obama, spying, fast forward all the way to shooting him, to even trying to win for America, and it's not like it's not working.
Oh, God, it's Vinny. Vinny, this guy pisses me off so much. Like, Vinny, all he does is just yell, and a lot of his points kind of suck. I'm not. This is one of the reasons I can't stand the Pat Bet David show. It's Adam and Vinny. Adam and Vinny make it worse because they're both morons.
How many billions and billions of dollars? We're freaking coming back. We're coming back, Pat, and it just drives me crazy that even when you try to say, Tommy, Republican, what was it? It's like, enough already. Can we just, the guy's doing a fantastic job. Yeah, I have some criticizing points on some other stuff, but like, what are we doing? It's working. We're respected. The money's starting to come in time. You talked about the numbers with the percentages and everything's coming back. It's like, give me a break. When is enough? When's it going to stop, Pat? When are they going to say, okay, listen, you're the president. We trust you at this point. Go do it. Let me see the breakdown. Let me see the case study. Oh, you made us $300 billion? Okay, keep doing your thing. They're respecting us.
Yeah, no. And by the way, these tariffs were bringing in money. These tariffs were bringing in loads of cash. We could have we're paying down. We could pay down not most of the debt, but we could start paying down the debt. You know what I mean? The goal is to pay down the debt. And the tariffs can help pay down the debt. That's the point that I'm trying to get at.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, on April 1st, the market goes down, and then the market comes back all the way through the year, comes back, consumer CPI comes out. There was not rampant inflation. Does the liberals want to come to the microphone and say, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I said there'd be rampant inflation because of his tariffs. It didn't happen. Oh, we got trade deals done for a number of industries. I said that would never happen. Oh, wait, gosh, it didn't. Look at this. There's a success on it that no one wants to talk about.
Here's my concern with this. Is when your president that you voted for is in, you support executive orders, whatever he wants to do, right? When you're president,
the president you voted for,
you probably align with his ideas. What percentage? Say 90%?
Probably 90%.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So you want that.
Go make decisions.
And remember, you can celebrate it when you're president until the other side gets elected.
Of course.
My biggest trust in the system and the Constitution came when I found out what the most powerful community is in D.C., and that's the Supreme Court.
Of course.
We learned this during COVID. We learned this the last 8 years. It's the most powerful. So check this out. Since 1789 or so, 165 formal Supreme Court nominations have happened. How many of them you think got rejected that didn't make it? 165. How many didn't make it after the Senate hearing? 165. How many didn't make it?
No clue. Got in.
Well, there have been a few. I mean, Bush had one that blew up, and he had to pull it back.
Merrick Garland didn't make it. Right?
Robert Bork got blown up.
Probably quite a few.
Out
I
of
don't know.
165. What do you think the number is? Is it high? Is it low? Is it
I think there's probably 20. I'll guess.
20? 37.
Oh,
That didn't make it
37.
through. Right. That didn't make it through.
Basically, there's a high bar.
So do you know why? Do you know why that's important to me? Because imagine if all of a sudden Kamala doesn't get any other job and they nominate her to be a Supreme Court. Jeez. How do you think she's going to vote when it comes on to different ruling and
that would be awful.
Off the ballot in Colorado? You have to really make sure this is not an evil person. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got to make sure that the people that you're getting in on the Supreme Court are at least in some capacity decent people.
You have to really be thinking. So to me, a bigger part of this is more a 50-year thing than a short term. When I was with Rand Paul.
Hold on, you guys. I have a. Hold on. Okay, this is gonna hurt. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh. So probably
Bob, if you want to pull up the interview with Rand Paul, how long ago was this when we were in D.C.?
2 weeks ago?
Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks.
Watch this. Go ahead, Rob.
Against us, I want him to have it. My concern is if Supreme Court takes that away from him, that power away from him, which he keeps bringing it up, which means they may do it. They may say no, and then we lose the revenue that we're getting.
Well, it's not a matter of taking it away from him. The Constitution is pretty explicit. Taxes originate in the House, have to go to the Senate. It specifically even mentions duties and levies. It mentions tariffs in the Constitution, says that they are in the prerogative of the House. Even the Senate can't. We're not supposed to initiate tariffs. Only the House does, comes to the Senate, goes to the president. It is a tax. A tariff is a tax, and it never was the prerogative of the president. Now, some legislation has tried to give him that power, but what he's using is something called IEPA, which is an emergency legislation, and it doesn't mention anything about tariffs.
You think Supreme Court's going
to... And that's interesting. I mean, look, I'm not necessarily against him doing that. I don't know why it's a big deal, to be honest. But I'm glad he's at least raising the global tariff rate from 10% to 15%, though. That's a good thing. I think it'll be good.
Going to rule against them?
If they follow the law, they absolutely will rule against
them. I am
them.
curious to see, though, how much the markets are dipping because of it. One moment, I'm just checking the markets real fast. Oh. Give me just a second, everybody. Oh, silver's going up like crazy. Hold on. I'm just kind of cooling down the side of my face real quick. Oh. All right, that should be good. Yeah, I was able to profit a little bit off of the silver. Silver's going up like crazy right now, so I'm kind of profiting off of the silver bull run. Because, yeah, whenever silver goes up, man, I love making a profit off that shit. But, yeah, no, the silver bull run's a beautiful thing, you guys. Consistently a beautiful thing. Let's keep watching.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, because the law is explicit. And so he will try to use other reasons for how he can use tariffs.
saw that, yeah.
But it's also very chaotic. I mean, you know.
You can pause it right.
So I've been using Frog Eat Frog. I've been using a new toothpaste that's it's helping, but it's also like it's basically it's killing the bacteria from the cavities, but at the same time, it's also filling in those cavities naturally. It's a very specialized toothpaste that's meant to get rid of, well, not only get rid of cavities, but also kill the bacteria in the cavities. So it's definitely, like, it's a little painful. I'm not gonna lie, but by the way, no, I'm doing good. Trust me, I'm doing good. It's just that it hurts. And, but yeah, it only hurts for like a good hour and a half, and then everything feels good. Yeah, it's a toothache, but this toothpaste is really like I got the toothpaste specifically to fill in the cavities. Now, granted, this isn't medical advice or anything, but I definitely have one tooth that is very sensitive right now. And I wanted to make sure that the enamel was strengthened, and if there were any cavities, that they would be filled in. So this toothpaste basically does both of those things. And the toothpaste is really good about killing the bacteria in the teeth if there's any bacteria growth at all. So I've been using it the way as directed. It's going to be a painful process for about a week. No, I understand. But I'm doing everything I can to make sure that everything's good. But yeah, I'm just, but yeah. So like, cause I brushed my teeth this morning and I did a really good job, brushing my teeth. But, yeah, the toothpaste it's going to take about a week to take full effect, but it'll be worth it in the end. Cause I won't, it'll basically be, cause it will help with no, they get better. No, teeth can get better, bro. Trust me.
Right there. So this is.
And worst case scenario, I just go to the dentist, you know. Yeah, it's only one tooth though. And by the way, I've been using a toothpaste that'll repair it all. Crushed whole cloves relieves cavity pain. I'll have to consider that for sure.
Rand Paul saying this 2.5 weeks ago. When he said it, he says if they follow the law, they will rule against him. Adam, thoughts?
Well, thank you for interviewing Rand Paul, because once he basically said that, I was like, oh, they're going to strike this thing down.
But you guys believe me, I'm good. The tooth pain, swish salt water, make a dentist appointment. No, for sure. And here's the thing. Like, believe it or not, the tooth pain's actually gone down quite a bit. It's gone down effectively a lot more than... Because it was getting pretty bad for a while, for like a good, like, solid 5 days. But then when I got this toothpaste, man, it's actually helping out a lot. It's helping out more than I would have ever expected. But yeah, I'll have to go get some. I'll probably go down to the health food store and get some whole cloves. That's actually a good idea, though. No, I understand, Froggy Frog. I'm aware of that. I'm aware, and I'm taking every precaution. Believe it or not, I am taking every precaution. And I'm using this very advanced toothpaste. It's a very advanced toothpaste. It's not medical advice, but it's actually. I'm feeling. By the way, I'm feeling much better than I did before. Surprisingly, it's just I still have a little bit of pain because the tooth is still a little bit sensitive, and because of the sensitivity, and because the cavities are also being filled in, it's a bit of a. It's a little painful. So, but don't worry, you guys. If it gets worse, trust me. If it gets worse, I will Make the necessary appointments.
Because, in my opinion, you know who we need to make great again? Congress. We need to make Congress great again. There was a time where Congress actually did their job, but we're living in such partisan times that they can't even do anything. So Trump has to do things like this.
Well, frog eat frog, trust me. The pain is not as, like I said, the pain has gotten more manageable. It was getting bad for a bit. The pain was getting bad, but it's actually the pain has lessened and lessened and lessened every single day. I'm just doing this because I don't want to feel any pain right now. Do I have a fever? I don't have a fever, no. My forehead does not feel hot at all. But no, I don't have a fever. Believe it or not, I don't have a fever. And, which is a good thing. Like, no, I appreciate you guys. By the way, I just want to say I appreciate everybody caring about me on this one. Trust me when I say this. I've done a lot of research. I'm not going to say life is not safe, you know. But if I need to, I will make a dentist appointment. This is only one tooth, and it's actually getting better. That's good to know, Sid Life. That's good to know, man. I appreciate the insight on that one. Emergency phone number for university dentist departments. I appreciate that big time. Thank you, man. Frog Eat Frog says you look flush and swollen, but my wife said maybe because you're a soulless ginger. That's funny. That is pretty funny, man. I love it. How bad is the crash today? It's pretty bad. Hey, Sid Life, I appreciate the prayers. Don't worry, you guys. I'm taking all the precautions. I figured, I was like, you know, if I'm going to be doing the show, I might as well not be in pain, you know, because I'm moving my jaw a lot when I do the show. And I brushed my teeth earlier, like right before doing the show is when I brushed my teeth. And here's the thing. Because this toothpaste is working is really full of shit, full of stuff. She didn't say soulless. That's funny. I appreciate it.
So if I'm a massive, massive MAGA Trump fan, here's how I'm thinking. Trump's doing the right thing. He's making America great again. We're going to impose reciprocal tariffs where they're going to pay. We've had, 2% tariffs in all these countries. We're putting it up. He busted out that whole chart. I love my charts.
No, I'm glad. I'm still a supporter of the tariffs, though. And by the way, I feel a little bit better. I just had to put that on my. I had to put that on the side of my mouth, man. But no, I appreciate you guys. I am doing better, though.
You know, the EU, they're going to pay 39%. Vietnam, they're going to pay 90%. Taiwan, 64%. Japan.
Well, and that's why I got this toothpaste, by the way. No, here's the thing, man. I got this specific toothpaste that is meant to fill in, the toothpaste is meant to fill in the cavities, if there is any. And also it's meant to strengthen the enamel. So it does both. It kills the bacteria. And it's possible I probably do grind my teeth a bit. But what it does is it kills the bacteria and it fills in the whole point of this toothpaste is to have it fill in. It takes about a week and a half. It said it takes about a week and a half to 2 weeks, I think, for it to take full effect. But I could tell it's already working because even though it's painful, even though the process is a little bit painful, the pain has dissipated. Trust me when I say this, the pain is so much less than it was before. The pain is so much less than it was before. I could tell it's working because the pain has been much more minimal than it's been. Sure. Is my face a little swollen at the moment? Yeah, it is. But that's okay.
46%. India, 52%. One by one. They were all paying 2%. So now he basically put it down to 15% now? Mm-hmm. But Rand Paul's right. Because what goes around comes around. And he said, to give this example, God forbid, President Communist AOC shows up and wants to start implementing.
God, if we have, I really hope that we never have AOC as AOC should never be the president. And neither should Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom and AOC are both terrible candidates, dude. Terrible freaking candidates. And, yeah, I'm not a fan of either. Dude, Gavin Newsom's run California into the ground, and AOC just sounds like she's very incompetent most of the time.
Implementing a socialist agenda. What then? All the progressives are going to say, exactly, this is what we voted for, and all the people with common sense are going to be like, So I said on the last podcast, thank God this was 6-3 and not 5-4, because Trump, of course, is attacking the judges that didn't side with him. But what's the, Article 1 of the Constitution? All legislative powers are granted to the Congress of the United States. They have the power to make the laws, to declare war, which they haven't done since World War II, even though we've been wars all over the world, to levy taxes, which are basically tariffs, and to confirm judges, like you just mentioned, and cabinet members. So totally understand why Rand Paul, where he's coming from, because we respect the rule of law, he basically said, in defense of our republic. But I also understand why people are pissed. Trump's doing the right thing. Trump's basically imposing these reciprocal tariffs. Unfortunately, nobody wants to say the quiet part out loud, that this has costed the average American household about $1,000 per household. So, you get what you pay for. You're wishful thinking.
Pritzker came out.
Here's the thing. I think tariffs are good because one way or another, we got to pay down the national debt. And if it has to be done with tariffs, and if we have to pay a little bit more, then so be it. Because this debt isn't going away and the interest payments are getting higher and higher and higher. Okay? It's getting higher and higher. Tristan Allen says, if AOC ever becomes president, that'll be the day that I spend the rest of my life in the woods. Agreed. And here's the thing, man. I do not want a leftist to be the president. I really don't. That just sounds awful, man. My problem with the left is they don't dentist stream. No, I'm going to be fine. Ultimately, this toothpaste has actually made my life a lot better, surprisingly. So the toothpaste has been amazing. But here we go. By the way, I will be good. I'm getting better and better each time. Every day I do feel better. Not going to lie. BRB. Here we go. Okay. All right, let's
send this cost the average American $1,700. Send them back $1,700. Cut the checks. Here's what what's his name had to say. Rob, if you want to go to that Kevin O'Leary, go for it.
Great to see you. So
love me some Kevin O'Leary, dude. Kevin O'Leary is the tits. This guy is amazing. Amazing. Let's keep going.
This has got to be a pretty big day in your world. What has the reaction been?
It's not a great day for me. We were humming along nicely until this morning. Here's what's happening on the ground. I know you've been talking about the politics and the policy, but let's talk about a business making $100 million in sales. It might have paid out $5 million in the last 14 months on these tariffs. And they're in my portfolio. I got phone calls from our customers, from our lenders because we borrowed against our line of credit, and from our shareholders that we reduced distributions on during this period waiting to settle on the tariffs. They all want their money back. Now, to be compliant, what am I supposed to do? I don't even know how this is going to get filed. It's going to be with Treasury, not the IRS, I assume. I'm going to try and get a meeting with staffers, best of staffers, when I get to the State of the Union next week to see if they can give me some guidance, because my head's getting squeezed from the top and the bottom to be compliant. And every business in America is going through this right now. There are people that want their money back within the distribution.
Dude, why should we? Why should we give money back on this one? I mean, they agreed to pay the tariffs at the time. So just because they're illegal now doesn't mean that they were illegal then. I don't know if that's how it works, but we'll see.
Shareholder and lender system. And for me, and I'm telling you right now, you're the first to hear it, I'm setting up a resource called wondertrust.com, hiring, if not hundreds, thousands of accountants and lawyers, because I don't know how else to be compliant. And I'm going to use them with my companies. What else are we supposed to do? Because everybody wants their money back. And I don't know what the policy is going to be on that. It's not a great
No, I don't think you should refund look, the tariffs. The Supreme Court had enough time to make a decision on this. The Supreme Court had enough time to make a decision on this. Once you paid those tariffs, dude, you agreed. I mean, you paid the tariffs. You're not going to get your money back, Kevin O'Leary. I love you, bro, but you're not going to get your money back.
Afternoon for me, to be honest with you.
Do you feel like you
Tom,
say no to refunds on this one. I'm not going to. We should not be refunding that. Crazy, though. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Well, you see the waterfall effect. Everything's got consequences. And so now what they're talking about is there going to be a tariff refund for all the companies that have paid for that? You know, that money. So in other words, let me translate tariff refund, folks. The government basically issues money. We used to say print money, but government just takes on more debt, pays everybody back on the tariffs. We take 2 steps back on balancing the budget. The can gets kicked.
We got to balance the budget, dude. No refunds on those tariffs that have already been collected. Use it towards the budget. Use it towards the national budget, dude. Trust me. That's the way it needs to be.
Down the road, and we are sitting there in a worse economic position long term. Trump is trying to turn the corner.
Exactly. Trump's trying to actually make this work. And look at him raising the global tariffs to 15% or whatever the percentage is. I think it's fantabulous. I think it's great. Straight up.
On this. There's so much to it. And you know, Kevin O'Leary's right. You know, here he is, an investor. He's trying to help companies be compliant with the laws and what they're going to do. And he's got some people that are screaming, I want my money back. And he's saying, well, then how do we do this? How do we hand it over? Washington doesn't know and doesn't understand what it's doing. The liberal side don't understand the impact they have on American businesses, even though the Supreme Court has ruled the way Rand Paul thought they would rule on the rule of law. Tariffs are a tax, therefore taxes only come from Congress. End of story. It's such a bigger issue here about leadership in America and allowing the president to govern. There was a time where we could come together across the aisle, where Tip O'Neill would sit with Ronald Reagan in the Rose Garden and have lunch once a week and talk through things for the good of the country. Well, right now you have certain people that are worried about the good of the country, and it's the conservatives.
I said this to you this morning, and I don't even know what other way to say it. I don't know if Trump's wiring is built for the speed of our system in America. I don't think.
I'm not too sure what Pat Bet David's alluding to, but I am curious to see if he'll elaborate on this thought.
It is because
his speed worked negotiating with other countries.
It did, but can you imagine like you're working in a company that you're working faster than the company is working? So we're accustomed to the start.
So Pat Bet David's essentially saying that Trump is ahead of the curve. He's ahead of the game, and everybody else is far behind. I could see that. Look, the tariffs are a good thing, whether people want to admit it or not. The tariffs are a good thing. I don't think that they're a bad thing, and I think Trump raising the global tariffs is a beautiful thing, and I can't wait to see the results. I think it's going to be good. I think ultimately it's going to be a good result.
Startup environment. If we want to make a decision, how quickly do we make a decision here? Like this, we make a decision. How quickly do we make a decision in PHP? Like this, we make a decision. Change the comp, do this, do that. We're going here, we're doing that, right?
Give me the facts. Let's process. Let's go.
Now
let's
you
roll.
go to a company. You got board approval. You got to go through this. Which, by the way, so America's got multiple layers of board. A company typically has one board.
Yeah.
So you have to go sit down with the board. You got 7, 9, 11 people and say, guys, here's what I think we need to do. Let's vote for it. I think we make this investment and buy the company for $188 million. 5-4 voting against it. What are you talking about? Here, Congress, then Senate, then. So what? By the way, Rob, can you ask the question? According to the Constitution and our system, if the president did take all the tariffs for the different countries he imposed through Congress and Senate, what is the fastest and slowest it would take for them to get approved? Do you know what question I'm asking?
Each country?
Yeah, so I want to know if, okay, great. We follow the system because that's the great thing about America. You're following the system. If we did follow the system according to the Constitution,
okay,
what does it say? Short answer, a president doesn't need. Because Congress already has delegated part of its authority through.
Yeah, tariffs are a tax. Here's the thing about tariffs, though. Tariffs are not a tax on the American people. Tariffs are a tax on other countries, right? Are we being taxed directly? No, but in a sense, you could argue that we're being taxed indirectly. It's a possibility. I could see that argument.
Existing trade laws, the speed depends on how long it gives Congress power to regulate commerce and set tariffs, but over decades, Congress passed laws that delegate limited tariff power to the president, which is why the president, I know, but that's the 10 to 15, but I'm talking about above the 15%. You saw the president that just raised it from 10 to 15.
Well, it says a slow path. New tariffs require full congressional legislation. We know what's going to happen
so
there. You end up with
path.
the inflation bill with a bunch of other crap.
Sid Life 365 says, better mod your chat. Take care, unsubbing. That's fine. Hey, look, we allow people to say whatever they want on here, dude. We allow people to say whatever they want on this chat. You know, if people want to be vile, they could be vile. You know, if they want to be good, they could be good. I give people the opportunity to stand on their soapbox and say whatever they want, man. Yeah. So I'm fine with it. You know, I'm pro-Trump, but I'm not going to silence people who oppose me. I will never silence people who oppose me. You want to know why? Because I believe in freedom of speech. And because I believe in freedom of speech so much, I have a very unmoderated chat.
Packed into it.
Go lower, Rob, to see what the slow path would be. Keep going lower. Slow path. Okay, number 1, bill introduced to the House or Senate. 2, committee hearings and markups. 3, majority vote on House, majority vote on Senate. President signs. Realistically, months to years.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, what do you...
How long did the big, beautiful bill take?
Do you understand? By the way...
Oh, you guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're currently sitting pretty at 8,402 subscribers. Once again, we're sitting pretty. We're sitting pretty at 8,402 subs. So make sure you guys tap the subscribe button. It's in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow. If you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do, please subscribe to the channel. If you guys want JD Vance in 2028, please subscribe to the channel. Let's keep going, bro.
Wait, can you flip the question and ask how long is flip the question, copy paste the question and ask and just replace it instead of America, put China or Russia. Change the country from US to China or Russia on how long it would take.
24 hours.
Well, that's the point, though. Right. China's system works very different under the fastest and slowest tariffs. Who controls the formally trade and tariffs or sits under the state council, custom tariffs and oversight. Fastest way to administer approval under authority. If tariffs are framed, okay, how fast? Days to weeks. Okay. What about slow?
Okay.
Slowest way, majority and long-term alignment of the PDO, usually months, sometimes longer, but it doesn't say months or years. So our system, even if he wanted to go through, by the time they get to vote would be midterms, and then even if it passes through. So all I'm saying is, for a person that comes from the business background that's used to dealing with speed, the speed of getting tariffs done is way too.
Tristan Allen says, made him run to the FBI. This guy was threatening me on YouTube. What? What? Oh, man. I don't know. I say, you know what? If people want to, people, I don't know.
Slow in America. Way too slow. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's their democracy.
So
Totally.
I totally get it. And it's great. Some would say, thank God it's slow. Right. Some would argue and say, thank God it's slow because, you're happy when certain things are fast, but you're, like, remember day one, we're going to sign an executive order. We're going to sign an executive order. So then moving forward, you almost have to sit there and think about when a president says, we're about to sign an executive order, you got to sit there and say, listen, Supreme Court, how's the Supreme Court going to be ruling? Again, it all goes back to how powerful the Supreme Court is.
Yeah, they are.
The Supreme Court is the board of directors. It's the board of the U.S.
Yep. Yeah, and thank God we have them, whether we like them or disagree.
Listen, remember
when Biden wanted to allegedly hack the court? We're like, what does that mean? What's going to happen here?
Yes.
By the way, you know who looks incredible right now? Maybe the biggest win of his career is Rand Paul. He said it on the Peabody podcast. He said straight up, I expect them to shut this down because they're going to, in defense of our republic. I'm not saying you're going to agree with them or disagree with them, but he called this.
Yes. For the last 7 or 8 days, we've been at the Magic Show in Las Vegas.
Admittedly, Rand Paul did call this. Admittedly. So, hell, man. I don't know. Now, I do love me some Rand Paul, though. Rand Paul's the man. He's the GOAT, dude. Rand frickin' Paul, bro. Top G. I'm a top G. All right, give me a moment, you guys. Damn, dude, silver is climbing. Silver is going up and up, dude. Yeah, silver's going up like crazy, man. I love it. I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. I call it like I see it, yeah. All things considered, though, my portfolio is looking pretty sexy still. It's looking good. I mean, the VT's down by like almost a whole percentage today. That's crazy. I'll probably buy a little bit of VT. Why not? Maybe. I'm thinking about it. I was kind of hoping that the price of silver would take a dip today, but that didn't happen. I wanted a silver dip, man. I wanted the silver to dip. It's okay though. We actually had a few companies go up in price today though. Not every company went down. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. But yeah, man, silver just seems to keep going up and up and up, and stock market went down. I'm fine with that. Let's see. Whew, give me one more moment, though. Kind of curious to see how the large cap ETF is doing. Oh, are we back? Oh, phew. I temporarily lost internet, man. We're back. I don't know what happened, but man, we temporarily lost. The weather's been kind of inclement, so it's possible that the stream may end in a fiery storm. So we'll see. We'll see if the stream ends, but yeah, we'll...
Vegas, and we're currently at Italy at the Michael show, the Milan show, the show that everybody shows up. Louis Vuitton.
So freaking Let's Shave Motion is asking, any crypto buys now or in the future? Crypto's a Ponzi scheme, so I will never recommend crypto to anybody. I think that crypto is the biggest Ponzi scheme that's ever been created, and I hope that cryptocurrency dies in a fiery death. I do. I think that Bitcoin deserves to go to zero. I think Ethereum deserves to go to zero. I think all crypto. Anything that has cryptocurrency next to it, yes, Bitcoin especially. Bitcoin is the biggest Ponzi scheme ever. It was created by PDF files for PDF files. I repeat, Bitcoin was created by PDF files for PDF files. Let's keep going.
Chanel, Hermes, everybody. And you know who was there this year?
By the way, just because you make $2,000 in a week off of crypto doesn't mean that crypto isn't a scam. It plays into greater fool theory. Sure, you may have got in and got out at the right time, but just because you get in and get out at the right time doesn't mean that you're right about crypto. It means that you made some money off of it, sure. That just means you're a gambler who got lucky. You could have easily got into a cryptocurrency, and that thing could have gone to zero at any time in a flash. So don't think that you can't go to zero on a cryptocurrency. Oh, you can. But yeah, no, the one thing I can't stand people thinking that crypto is a good thing. It's not a good thing. Essentially, it's a net negative to society. It has zero intrinsic value. It plays under the rule of greater fool theory. Okay, you said you were lucky? Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, silver and gold have intrinsic value. Bitcoin does not. Bitcoin has zero intrinsic value. That's why eventually Bitcoin will go to zero. Bitcoin will be the next NFTs, trust me.
Future Looks Bright shoes. There. We sent Pete, Leo, and Michele. Went over there, having a great time. Go ahead and give them an update on what's going on with these FLB shoes in Vegas at the Magic Show, as well as Michael. Go ahead, Rob.
God. Pat, I'm not the biggest fan of Pat Bet David, and I understand he's trying to push some product. I get it. And I understand he's trying to say, hey, future looks bright. Yeah, well, how about we make now look better, Now needs to look better. Make sure that you guys buy Pat Bet David's shoe.
I just can't get it. Okay. By the way, you know what I'm wearing today?
Clean.
Again, let me say this to you guys. I'm wearing my brown ones. Okay, future looks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep wearing my. I'm gonna wear my Brooks running shoes. I'm gonna keep wearing those instead.
Vinny's wearing his black ones. Okay.
No, Vinny
from
sucks,
September
dude.
9th. When I tell you from.
Yeah, those shoes suck. I honestly, those Pat Bet David grifter shoes kind of suck. So I'm not buying those anytime soon. But yeah, no, Pat Bet David is kind of a grifter for sure, and I understand he's trying to peddle some products. Why not? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Pat Bet David, though. I'm just not a big fan of him.
September 9th till today, I've only worn these shoes except for 5 days. That's all I wear. 5 days, okay? And
I wear Brooks running shoes because they're good for my feet, and I walk a lot, and I run a lot. So, yeah, Brooks running shoes are where it's at for me, bro.
Love them. They're so comfortable. Every day, this is all I wear. For some of you guys that are asking questions about shoes, we haven't done a CTA for a couple of weeks because it sells out every time we do them, okay? So if you haven't picked one up for yourself yet, go to the site, take a look at the shoe, compared with all the other shoes, the Berlutis, the Ferragamos, the Xenias, the Guccis. If you want a shoe that has the same,
Dem Tears Make Great Lube says, those shoes, even a homeless person would leave them in the dumpster. I mean, they're kind of nice shoes in the sense that, like, let's say you're going into a job interview or something and you need kind of a fashionable shoe. If it's an affordable shoe, I say, why not? Tristan Allen says, boy, pour it on. He's selling to somebody, but not to me. I love it, man. I think it's great. Pat Bet David, you do your thing, bro. You do your thing, bro.
Foam, the foam technology in the bottom, like the OnCloud or the Hokas, and then the look of a Xenia with the leather, genuine leather from Tuscany, Italy, and you want to combine the two together for a reasonable price while you can sit on a board.
You guys, make sure if you guys are actually interested in these shoes, though, there's a QR code right there. Or you guys could check out Pat Bet David's Valuetainment, whatever. I'm still not a big fan of the products he promotes because I think they suck. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it's actually a good product, and I might be wrong.
Put up your shoe on your knee, and it says "Future Looks Bright," and get the deal done. If you're that kind of a person, go to vtmerch.com, place your
order.
If you enjoy this video, you want to watch.
Honestly, the biggest turn off of the Pat Bet David show, besides Pat Bet David, is Vinny and Adam. Vinny is constantly yelling at everything and everyone, and he doesn't make any good points half the time, and he's just yelling out of emotion. And then you got Adam, who's a total piece of shit and has bad ideas. They both suck. They're one of the big main reasons I can't stand them, man. Oh, here's something interesting. What if quantum computing could one day break Bitcoin? Oh. Let's see. The slow enshittification of fast food, cars, housing, and modern life.
It's not going to be shocking to you to hear that inflation and the resulting cost of living crisis have pushed a lot of family budgets to their limit. But unfortunately, for a lot of companies, that started to become a problem for them too. If people simply can't afford anymore, they need a new way to expand their margins quarter to quarter. For a while, the solution was maintaining prices, but just reducing the quantity of the actual product.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. But yeah, shrinkflation is a real thing, dude. Shrinkflation is a real flipping thing. Like, if people don't realize that, then I don't know what to tell you, bro. Shrinkflation is real. It's real. I created it. No, but make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. So, but yeah, just tap that subscribe button and let's keep it rolling, man. You guys alone make this channel amazing.
so people would be forced to repeat their purchases more often. But again, over time, the consumers got wise to shrinkflation and started seeking out value brands or outlets in an attempt to stretch their budgets as far as they could. So today, a newer strategy has become popular amongst basically anything you can spend money on. Houses are being built with the cheapest possible materials, cars are becoming a basket for holding optional extras, fast food, which wasn't exactly great to begin with, is now no longer cheap or fast or even warm, and this is to say nothing of the companies that don't really see you as a consumer at all, but more as a product to be sold to the real customers behind the scenes.
You're spending $15 at least if you want to get a proper full meal, and that's just not sustainable.
The whole car was like $580 because I had a bed frame and everything in there. So $580, cool. Why did I check today during Prime Week? A lot of my items were on sale for Prime Week. My cart was $16 more.
21 once the market started to get shut down. So what I think happened here is this baseboard here looks like it was installed at a different time. You can see they haven't even puttied the nose yet.
Okay, so before we get into the fast food industry as the canary in the coal mine for much larger structural economic problems, there is something more important you need to understand. Fast food locations used to be fun. Pizza Huts looked like actual huts.
Yeah, that's true. You know, the places used to actually look good. Absolutely. 100%, bro. 100. Hey, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. We're currently sitting at 8,403 subscribers. We're trying to get to 8,500 as soon as possible. So the more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel in more ways than you can ever imagine. Let's keep going.
Cheese had rodent-themed decor, and McDonald's was full of bright colors.
The Hamburglar, dude. The Hamburglar is my boy, dude.
Convicts and nightmare-inducing clowns. That's clearly changed, and now almost any fast food store you go into is the same generic style of nondescript, boxy modern commercial building. This has happened for a few reasons that are each very revealing about the broader direction the industry has gone. The first reason is that children have become less important to overall business demand. In the good old days, companies would advertise directly to children in the hopes they would effectively become little sales representatives and throw a shit fit until their parents gave in and took them to get some deep-fried slop. Regulations around advertising to children and a general cultural shift away from feeding children too much unhealthy food means that companies can't rely on this market as much anymore, though. Yeah. According to a YouGov survey, Americans between the ages of 18 and 34 are now the largest consumers of fast food, with 42% reporting they consume it several times a week.
18 to 34, damn. Okay, I see why they're. I see why McDonald's is always doing ads geared towards millennials. That makes sense.
Demographic shifts means this age group is now less likely to have children of their own, so the extra money and maintenance on custom storefronts isn't worth it since a ball pit is unlikely to appeal to most 20-somethings. No shame, though. Shifting consumer trends are one thing, but the bigger reason is that restaurant locations have become far less important and much more interchangeable. According to market data from the consulting firm McKinsey & Company, people are now almost twice as likely to order food through a delivery service like Uber Eats or DoorDash than they are to physically sit in a fast food.
That's wild. Yeah, exactly. People want convenience, and going out to eat, honestly, is an inconvenience. It is. People want convenience. Also, it's just, here's the thing. Not only do people want convenience, it's also too expensive to go out to eat as well. Another thing is, I'm surprised people do DoorDash as much, because that's also just as expensive, and I believe it's inconvenient. I think it's just easier to drive to the location where you want to get your food and just get it, and then bring it back home. It's not that hard. Get you out of the house. But yeah, I pretty much just eat. I honestly make my own food. I don't even bother going to restaurants unless I'm taking my girlfriend out on a date. That's about it.
Restaurant and eat their meal. Fast food locations are increasingly just becoming distribution centers for Postmate drivers, so maybe we shouldn't be surprised that they have started looking like Amazon warehouses. Anyway, alongside ingredients and staffing, the real estate these restaurants sit atop is simultaneously the largest expense in most locations, as well as being a significant asset. As the story goes, Ray Kroc, the man responsible for scaling McDonald's into a global fast food empire, figured out that he wasn't in the burger business. He was in the
real estate business, baby. Exactly.
Real estate business. To this day, for the majority of fast food locations, most of the money is made by the commercial real estate. The restaurant that sits on the land is basically just a tenant producing cash flows. It doesn't matter if the tenant is a Wendy's or a McDonald's. So stores have become more uniform to lower the cost of construction and the risk of having an unusual building that nobody else wants to rent.
Hey guys, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're trying to get to 8,500 subscribers as quickly as we can. We're currently at 8,403 subs, but I think we can get to 8,500 before the end of the stream. It's a little ambitious of me, but I want to see if we can get to 8,500 subs by the end of the stream. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We really need your help, and the more subscribers we have, the better. Plus, you guys, if you guys subscribe, you won't miss any of the amazing content that we like to do. So let's keep going, man.
And if a franchise moves out. So if you want to know why fast food restaurants look so boring these days, you can blame real estate speculation, shifting socioeconomics, and middleman technology. Something of a recurring theme on this channel. Now anyway, this whole game only works if these businesses still bring in cash, and to do that they need to move some hamburgers. The trouble is, that's getting really hard. Fast food prices have increased significantly beyond inflation. According to data collected from Finance Buzz, the average McDonald's menu item is now twice as expensive as it was 10 years ago.
That is, well, hold on. Let's see what the price, let's look at this menu real quick. So, a McDonald's McChicken sandwich was $1 in 2014. Okay. And now the 2024 price is $2.99. Okay. It's a $1.99 difference. That is a 199% increase. That's crazy. You can technically do the buy one get one for $1 deal, but it still ends up, both of them end up being kind of expensive. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. This is why I don't go to McDonald's to get food. I just make all my food at home, bro. Cook at home. Cooking at home is the solution, in my opinion.
This trend is partially because fast food items used to be artificially cheaper than they should have been. When people would order in-store, there was more opportunity to upsell them to larger meal sizes and tack on higher margin extras like desserts and drinks, so they could make their staple menu items cheaper to attract customers. Now, ingredients and rent has become more expensive, and on top of that, restaurants need to give a significant portion of their top-line revenue to delivery companies. To maintain their margins, they had to raise prices, and their pivot to more premium branding was a way to justify this change without acknowledging that getting food hand-delivered is a luxury with inherent increased costs. Fast food companies aren't allowed to directly offer lower prices in their stores than they do via delivery apps, even though they don't have the additional expenses. So they have had to become sneaky and offer various meal deals so that in-restaurant customers can get better deals if they are willing to navigate through deals via their own apps and pick out in-store meal combinations. If you are a savvy Mick connoisseur and you are willing to sit down, do the math, and make the most of various deals on the company-run fast food apps and in-store offers, you can end up paying half as much for the same food as someone who just turned their brain off and poked at the cheeseburger pictures they wanted on their delivery app of choice. This has made shopping for fast food increasingly confusing and time-consuming, which is exactly the opposite reason why customers go to these companies in the first place. Now, the companies are not exactly blameless victims in this trend. Bloated and confusing menus and premium offerings had the potential to extract the most possible money out of the widest spectrum of customers, from the rich and lazy to the poor and savvy. But now the market has turned against them, and this clever little business model could be their undoing. So it's time to learn how money works to find out if fast food companies have cooked themselves. This week's video is sponsored by Toki. Toki is a free productivity app that basically acts like your calendar's smart, overachieving best friend. It already has over 4 million users. You can create events through text, voice notes, or even a...
So what's this? I wonder, I don't know what this ad's for, but this is within the video itself. Let's take a look.
Screenshot, and it syncs across Google, Apple, and Outlook so everything stays updated automatically. I'm genuinely bad at remembering
That's kind of cool. I got to admit, that is kind of neat.
plans. So being able to send Toki a screenshot of an invite and having it schedule everything for me is kind of insane. Also, if something's important, you can turn on call alerts and Toki will literally call you to remind you. If you upgrade to Super, you get way more events and reminders each week, unlimited call alerts, plus scheduling...
I just prefer to use Google Calendar and just call it good. I just use Google Calendar. And I honestly, I say no to a lot of stuff. I do say no to a lot of shit in this life, so
you don't double book yourself. Download Toki on iOS or Android for free. And if you want 50% off the annual Super plan, scan the QR code on screen or use the link in the description. So it's not all bad news. As Q1 earnings have been revealed, some brands have actually increased their sales. Taco Bell, which is owned by the conglomerate Yum Brands, increased average store sales by 9% compared to last year. This success has been attributed...
Well, here's the thing. I will say this. Taco Bell has still found a way to maintain lower cost items on their menu. Obviously, the price increase is real, but they've managed to keep the prices as low as they can. So I got to give Taco Bell some props at the very least. You know what I mean?
Almost exclusively to the company's Lux boxes, which have become what fast food used to be. A large quantity of food with a lot of calories for not very much money. Even though the industry declined overall, Taco Bell grew because it attracted customers priced out of other options. The company's own CEO boasted on the earnings call that the company's performance was thanks to massive wins with low-income consumers. Yum Brands, which also owns chains like KFC and Pizza Hut, does not invest heavily into real estate like McDonald's, and instead rents most of their locations from third-party commercial landlords. This means that when picking a location to open a store, they don't have to worry about the underlying fundamentals of the area and the real estate market. They can focus exclusively on what locations are going to bring in the most foot traffic. This also lets brands operate in locations that would otherwise be considered undesirable by real estate investors with a side hustle in burgers. Across the rest of the industry, though, fast food as a whole has largely lost ground to people just choosing to cook from home. I know this is...
Exactly. I prefer cooking from home. It's so much easier. Like, not only do I pay less, ultimately, it's just easier to cook from home. I would rather cook from home any day of the week, all day, every day. Straight up.
Isn't exactly groundbreaking news to you watching, but food has become kind of expensive. The key demographics of young workers that consume fast food are the same people who are getting laid off first, and statistically have less savings to get them through periods of reduced income.
Oh, the Lux box is $7? Hell yeah, dude.
These people also on average have more debt to manage outside of a residential mortgage. By now, you have probably seen the memes about being able to split your burrito purchase into 4 easy installments using Klarna through DoorDash. Now, this has probably been blown out of proportion, as Klarna is just a payment processor that a lot of people are more comfortable with over a credit card or a bank transfer. But it's a humorous way to acknowledge the more serious issue that people are going into debt just to keep up, and new platforms like...
That is crazy that people are using Klarna to pay for a burrito. Like, how insane is that? That's why I don't, I may like to do deliveries for things like DoorDash, but I don't like to order from DoorDash, if that makes sense. It's not because I'm against, I think DoorDash is brilliant. I just don't like to, I'd rather pick up my own food because I'm not lazy. I'm not saying, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just not a lazy person,
like this are making it easier than ever to do. Klarna and similar services now represent an extra $700 billion worth of consumer debt that isn't being officially recorded, on top of over $1 trillion in credit card debt and student debt, which people now actually need to pay again. So people are short on cash, but these companies are also losing another group of consumers. Fast food has typically been popular with people who just didn't have that much time after working a long shift and then spending an hour or more commuting. But even that has become less of a selling point. Fast food is...
Yeah, people would rather just... Honestly, it doesn't take that long to cook anything. It doesn't take long to cook anything. And here's the thing. If you go to Taco Bell, you're going to have to wait in line the same amount of time. And you're going to have to wait for your food either way. So you might as well just cook the food when you get home. Cook something when you get home. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
It's not that fast anymore. Average wait times have increased significantly, which means unless you are willing to pay the premium to get food delivered, it's almost faster to cook some basic food for yourself. Now, fast food getting slower has happened for 2 reasons. The first is that larger menus make it harder to prepare food in advance and keep it ready to be instantly handed over. Now, this also means that food is prepared to order, which is nice. Apart from the second reason, fast food turnover is higher than it's ever been, and overall staff care is low because people simply do not value these jobs as much as they once did.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I can understand why the turnover rate would be high at a place like McDonald's or Wendy's, because honestly, a lot of it has to do with the shitty customers. The people who come in to order fast food are typically the meanest people I've ever seen. Like, anytime I go in, like, I do occasionally like to get fast food, but when I go in there, some of the people treat the staff like crap. some of these Karens will come in and like talk to these workers as if they're beneath them, and it blows my mind. Like, I like to make sure that these people know that they're appreciated, the workers, and that's a big deal to me, man. That's a big deal to me.
Now, expecting people to go above and beyond for a minimum wage job at a fast food franchise is clearly a bit dumb, but it's getting harder to find people that want to do the job at all. Once again, fast food companies have kind of been outmaneuvered by the delivery apps. Minimum wage workers now have more options, and delivering food and answering to an algorithm is more attractive to a lot of...
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I would rather do DoorDash than actually, you know what I mean? I would rather do DoorDash and answer to an algorithm just like it says than have to be a slave to a manager that I don't want to even talk to, right? Why would I? Yeah, no, I get it, Tristan Allen. That makes sense, bro. No, I love doing delivery driving, though. Like, doing delivery driving's fun.
A lot of people than cooking food and answering to the power-tripping shift manager. Of course, the obvious solution is to just pay people more, and some companies are basically being forced to do that. But then they either need to raise their prices even further or cut into already razor-thin margins.
And that's the thing. If you have to pay these employees more, you have to increase the menu items, the price of the menu items. So it becomes a catch-22 for a lot of these companies, man. It becomes a huge catch-22 for a lot of these companies. But make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're currently sitting at 8,403 subscribers. If you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do, if you guys think that Donald Trump is the greatest president of all time, please subscribe to the channel. Let's go. If you guys think the Michael Garza Show is very sexy and very exuberant and beautiful, please subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help. And so please don't forget to subscribe, everybody. Yeah. No, Tristan Allen, you're the man, though. One moment. One moment. Okay. All right. We're back. We're live and we're back. Okay. Oh, let's see. It's very sexy. Damn, you're very sexy.
These companies are investing a lot of money into automated kitchens to cut down on staff before they get too much negotiating power. But that technology is still in its infancy, and these brands have shareholders to answer to now. If they raise prices anymore, they will also be competing directly with slightly more upmarket fast casual dining, and even local independent restaurants, which are getting harder to differentiate from. Longer wait times in a...
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. Smaller restaurants, you know, their prices are pretty much even keel with a place like McDonald's. I would rather go to my local, by the way, if I'm going to go out to eat, I'm not going to get fast food. I'm going to go to my local Chinese restaurant like the Lucky Star. I'm not, like, seriously, I just don't understand why anybody would even want to go to fast food at this point. The whole appeal of fast food was it was inexpensive. You didn't have to pay a lot of money. That's the whole point of going to fast food is to not have to pay money. That's the whole concept, the whole appeal. Anyway.
Slightly more expensive menu is expected at these stores for people who want convenience and are willing to pay a few extra dollars for it.
But I'm going to say, let's take a look and see what other videos we could react to. As much as I love reacting to these types of videos, like, we'll see what else is going on. Oh, shit.
Mexico's President, Claudia Sheinbaum, is calling for calm after the death of the country's most wanted man. Cartel leader El Mencho was killed in a Mexico military operation yesterday.
They're trying to get calm down there, but man, after what happened, I'm hoping that there's some calm. I think there's going to be unfortunately, a lot of drug lords doing terrible things down there in Mexico. Tristan Allen says, look up the new Sean Ryan episode. I'll have to check that out a little bit later. I am curious to see what Breaking Points is saying.
All right, guys, we've been following some significant unrest in Mexico after the killing of a top cartel leader. We can put this article up on the screen from the Associated Press. They say here that Mexican army kills leader of powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel during operation to capture him. The Mexican army killed the leader of that cartel, El Mencho, he's known as, on Sunday, decapitating what had become Mexico's most powerful drug cartel and thrusting swaths of the nation into chaos. Cars burned out by cartel members, blocked roads at more than 250 points in 20 Mexican states, authorities said, and left smoke billowing into the air. Jalisco's capital, Guadalajara, was turned into a ghost town Sunday night as civilians hunkered down. School was canceled Monday in several states, and authorities in a variety of states reported at least 14 dead, including 7 National Guard troops. Joining us to discuss these developments is the Latin America desk head of Drop Site News, Jose Luis Granados Ceja. Great to see you, Jose.
Good to see you, man.
Great to see you again. Hi.
So we can put some of these images up on the screen of...
It's crazy, man. All this violence, all because one major leader from a drug cartel is killed. So the headline says Mexico kills drug kingpin El Mencho, sparking violent gang backlash. Yeah, I could see why. I don't agree with it. By the way, I hate drug cartels. I think drug cartels are terrible. They're awful, man. Jesus Fuentes says, man, I was about to travel to Mexico from South Texas to Monterrey. Yeah, you're better off just staying in America. I would just stay in America, dude. I don't even understand why people take vacations to Mexico, to be quite honest. I have zero clue why people take vacations to Mexico. Mexico is so freaking dangerous, in my opinion. And by the way, I'm part Mexican, so.
Cars burning, you can see fires all over the place. And guys, you can just let this run as Jose brings us up to speed. Just give us a sense of what the mood is there in Mexico and how significant of a development this is.
You know, in terms of how significant this is probably the biggest fish they could possibly catch. Nemesio Oseguera, or El Mencho, as he's more commonly
I mean,
known.
he was the head honcho. Wasn't he like the top drug lord in Mexico? Wasn't he like the creme de la crop or whatever the hell that term is? Like creme de la crop? I don't even know what the fuck that term is. Anyway, he was like the head honcho. He was one of the big boys. Yeah, dude, I would just stay. Dude, Jesus, I would stay the hell out of Mexico, man. Count your blessings. Be happy that you live in America. And that's it. Just, by the way, until Mexico gets this drug cartel problem under control. By the way, the Mexican government is basically ran by the drug cartel. Like, let that sink in, people. Mexico is not a safe place to visit or live, so long as drug cartels continue to run the show.
Known was the major player when it came to organized crime here. It can't be overstated how significant, how big of an impact against organized crime groups this, capture and then his subsequent death really is for Mexico. And that's why we saw sort of this response in the streets from his associates in these organized crime groups. Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, CJNG, or las cuatro letras, the four letters, they have various names. They're kind of, they are the largest organized crime group here, the most powerful, the most well-connected. It's said that they were rivaling, transnational corporation in terms of their reach.
That's crazy,
and their
man.
international business connections. What was interesting about them is that
it blows
they
my mind
were,
a little bit.
in a way, a kind of a new manifestation of organized crime groups. I think a lot of times people think of the cartels.
We'll look into this a little bit later. I don't know, man. This is just crazy.
The moment Get Over Here was born.
One more time. Oh, you know what? Wait, you know what you do? After he does that, we should have to do. I think he has like. Yeah. Okay. So do the throw, and then we need some kind of throw back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, the moment Get Over Here was born.
That's crazy, dude.
One more time. Oh, you know what? Wait, you know what you do? After he does that, we should have to do. I think he
Get over here. That's
woke
crazy.
up this morning, saw one of my videos, got
No way. A Pokemon card sells for $16.492 million. What?
Last month, auctioneer Supremo
No way.
Ken Golden
No
joined
fucking
us with
way.
an extremely rare holy grail of Pokemon collectible cards. Just watch this.
This is the Pikachu Illustrator 10. This is the Pokemon and Logan Paul Illustrator auction. This is currently at $6.35 million. What? Wait, the odds. Polymarket is taking.
Okay, give me a few seconds, you guys. It's give me one moment. But no, that's crazy, man. So it's a rare Pikachu Illustrator card, and I can't believe it sold that much.
Bets. And like there's like $10 million bet on where this card's going to go, which is crazy. And
so I think this card, obviously, I believe is a one of one. I think it's so rare that I think there's only one of it in existence. I don't know if it's like a misprint or something like that, but man. Dude, do you guys think that Pokemon cards are going to go up in value again? Because, man, Pokemon cards, sometimes they go down in value, then they go whoop, back up again. It's crazy.
It's predicted to sell for approximately $11.5 million.
Golden is back, sitting next to me again here in New York City. He has the card with him. Now, this card was owned by Logan Paul, I believe, and it sold for a record, what was it, $16.4 million?
$16,492,000. Guinness was on hand. The all-time record for any Pokemon card, the all-time record for any...
That is insane. That is insane. First off, that anybody would pay that level of money for a Pokemon card. I mean, like, I don't even want to pay $20 for a Pokemon card, let alone 16 million.
Trading card, the all-time record for any graded collectible.
And you auctioned it off.
And we conducted the auction.
That was a coup, was it not?
It was great to get it. It was a lot of publicity for us, but it's a lot of work goes into these auctions to plan it, to make sure you're reaching the right people. That's why I had the card on an episode of Can Collectibles on
just
Netflix.
Hold it up?
Sure. Right. So let me show everybody. This will be the last time that I.
Give me a moment, you guys. I'm checking out some of the, seeing if there's any good trading opportunities real quick. Oh, man. Bitcoin is crashing hard, dude. Bitcoin is crashing the way it deserves to crash. In a fiery death. Bitcoin is Clickcoin. Hell yeah. Fucking crazy, man. Give me a moment, you guys. No, take me back to where we always were. To where we turn to stone until the light is gone. Take me back to where it all began, to where our memories flow. Give me just another moment, you guys. Checking something kind of interesting on here. Let's see. Hell yeah, dude. Man, the markets, the funny thing, the irony is the markets are crashing really hard. But you know what isn't crashing? You know what's not crashing at all? Silver and gold. Silver and gold. You know, that's the thing. That's one thing I love about when market crashes happen. Silver and gold tend to do the opposite of the markets. Now, that's not always a guarantee, though, because sometimes every single market can crash. Sometimes investors get out of everything in droves, or at least not get out of everything, but they reduce their positions. And when investors are reducing their positions at massive scales, you know, that's a big deal. That tends to be a very big deal at the very least. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. We need more subs. So don't forget to tap the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. Yeah, let's keep on rolling, man.
I show the card publicly because the card, you know, was purchased out of auction, and I had permission to show it on Fox Business Today on Brony, and then it's going into a vault because he is arranging it to have it on public display, and the card has already been paid for. He was that eager. The auction ended Sunday. It was a holiday Monday. Banks are open Tuesday. We've received the wire.
Do you think it was purchased as an investment with the expectation that the value would go up in the future?
He purchased it because he loved Pokemon. He was part of the community. It brought back great memories to him. But yes, he believes, you know, as I do, that collectibles are a viable alternate asset class.
But did the celebrity status of Logan Paul, did that make a difference to the price?
I think it probably did. I think the fact that Logan Paul once owned that card, it probably mattered quite a bit and to some degree. So I could see that being a factor in how the person purchased it. But it's really cool. I think that the person, whoever bought it, they're going to put it out on public display. I mean, I think that's a lot to pay for a Pokemon card, to be honest. But you know what? Here's the thing. If the person's going to put it out on display for people to observe in person, the person who bought it is probably going to charge people money to see it. So he's going to get a return on investment one way or another, because I think a lot of people are going to line up in droves just to witness and be next to the rarest Pokemon card of all time. I think that's probably going to be the case. That's my opinion. I don't know. That's what I would do. And I don't know. Maybe it's not the right way to do it. I have no idea. But yeah, let's keep going. Keep watching.
I think the fact that Logan owned it brought it, you know, gave it a higher profile. You know, more people knew about it, more people understood, and it had the history. But to me, this is, you know, Pokemon is one of the largest entertainment categories in the world. It is the largest, larger than Marvel, larger than Star Wars even. So to me,
I forget that Pokemon is so big sometimes. Like, Pokemon is huge. In fact, yeah, Pokemon is extremely huge. I always forget that. Like, you just can't forget that Pokemon is, it's a global brand, man. Pokemon at the end of the day is a huge global brand, and people love it, man. People love the Pokemans. I get it.
This is the holy grail. It's the one of one top pop.
So one of one. There's no other version of this card that's ever been printed in existence. This is a one-of-one card. I think this is the rarest Pokemon card to exist, because you're not going to get another version of this. Now, granted, does that make it intrinsically worth anything? No. This is why collectibles are a different type of market. Collectibles, in my opinion, collectibles are not assets. Collectibles are just a totally different monster at the end of the day. And yeah, that's the way I see it, at least.
Possible item that you can own forever in the Pokemon world.
What would you say if I said to you, that's a bubble?
Oh, man. I would tell you that I was around in 1981 when 52 Topps Mickey Mantle cards were sold for $1,500, and the Philadelphia Daily News at the card show came out and said a bubble in Mickey Mantle cards. That same card today I can sell for $40 million.
Wow.
You also got another
Wow.
Wagner card.
Yes.
Sitting right there. I'm allowed to touch that one.
Yes,
but,
yes, you can.
Okay.
What do you want to?
How much?
That card is up for auction right now at golden.com, and the current bid is $4.88 million.
It's a Mickey Mantle card? Did he say that was a... Oh, no, that's a Honus Wagner baseball card. Or no?
Closes tomorrow night in our vintage auction, and the expectation, because not only...
I love how the guy is wearing gloves. as well when holding this. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro.
Condition, but the provenance behind this card is unlike any other in history of cards. The expectation is that this card is going to sell somewhere between $6 and $10 million.
So you've got about $25 million worth of card on your table.
We get $25 million in front of me, which is why I've got 3 guys with guns right outside the studio.
The security guards all over the place. Yeah. Well, Ken, good luck to you, man. It was great to have you on the show.
That's crazy, bro. You know, I often forget how wild the collectible markets are for certain things, especially in Pokemon cards. It really blows my mind. I mean, like, the collectibles market is very, very huge in the world of, like, Pokemon and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy.
Thanks for bringing that to us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, sir.
We'll see you soon.
Yep.
Thanks, Ken.
Here's an interesting one, how Trump's tax laws can affect your money. Interesting.
Tax cuts in American history, including no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
President Trump made a lot of proclamations about tax policy in his campaign and now throughout his administration. And it's very important for taxpayers to check what the president has said. What the tax breaks do is reduce your taxable income, and perhaps you will pay less tax, but it's not an outright elimination of tax for any of those things.
Most of the impact of this new bill was to keep things in 2026 the way they were in 2025. So if you're comparing to what you're used to in 2025, not a whole lot of change.
I thought this was going to be the year where people get like big tax returns, though. So aren't a lot of Trump's new tax breaks very generous, though? I mean, we'll see. We'll see what my tax return looks like at the end of the year.
Most of the tax breaks in the new tax law for 2025 are tax deductions.
Rich people get so many deductions.
Oh, shit. Okay, here's something interesting. So, mother of all refunds, massive tariff repayments could take years, is what it's saying here. That's crazy. Let's take a look.
Across the board today, Dow's off nearly 700 points. There are just 5 or 6 stocks which account for almost all of that loss. S&P's down 0.69% and the Nasdaq's down 0.69%. Red ink all over. The social media addiction trial resumes today. YouTube's vice president of engineering, he's going to take the stand. Ashley Webster's outside the corner.
Now, that's going to be interesting, though, because the trial on social media being addicting, it is addicting. I mean, you could in a lot of ways, if people are trying to sue social media, you could argue that you could try to sue the creators of slot machines, the people who create slot machines, because slot machines are designed intentionally to be addictive, right? They're designed intentionally to be highly addictive. Granted, are you going to sue Starbucks for selling coffee, which caffeine is an addictive substance? No. So I don't know. I don't think you can really sue social media for being addictive. I think that you just need to stop using it. I mean, honestly, you know, I will say this. The best solution here is not to sue these companies, but just stop using their product. If people want to put their money where their mouth is, they just need to stop using the product. Stop using Facebook. Stop using Instagram. Stop using TikTok. And if you need to, stop using YouTube. If you believe that social media is bad for you, stop using it. Stop letting your kids use it. It all starts with personal accountability, and that's the one thing I feel our nation is lacking these days is nobody wants to be accountable for their own actions. They don't want to, like, take any personal responsibility for where they're at in life, and that matters. The only way to grow as an individual is to admit that most of the things in your life, if not everything, is your fault.
Now, as far as actually, what is YouTube's argument in this trial?
Well, Stu, YouTube believes that it's an entertainment center rather than a social media network. Completely.
It is. I mean, it is kind of social media, though, because while it is entertainment, people can leave comments, people can interact. Like right now, you guys are interacting with me in the chat. So in a lot of ways, YouTube is an interactive entertainment platform, sure. But you could argue it's kind of social media too, because each channel has its own personal community. For instance, I got my community boards where people contribute to the Michael Garza Show community, without a doubt. Oh, and if you guys can, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. So I do appreciate everybody for being so incredible. You guys do make this show go round. It makes you guys make everything work, man. You guys make it all work.
Different, they say, and to make that point today, taking the stand will be Christos Goodrow. He is head of engineering at Google, also head of search and discovery at YouTube. Essentially, Goodrow is the man who oversees the algorithms that determine content and recommendations based on viewers' viewing habits. Now, plaintiff attorney Mark Lanier is going to question Goodrow about how those algorithms are designed to keep users engaged as long as possible, and whether young viewers are specific.
I mean, that is their end goal. I mean, they want to keep you on the platform for as long as they can, so that's the end goal of the product. It makes sense to me, man. Yeah. Kind of boring, man. Let's see what else we got. Let's take a look at this real quick. This is wild.
There are fears the killing of Mexico's most wanted drug kingpin could trigger more waves of violence. In a news conference this morning, President Claudia Sheinbaum said peace and security are being maintained. The defense secretary revealed the government learned the location of Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes by tracking one of his romantic partners.
Oh, wow.
Chicagoans in Mexico wait for the all clear. Started seeing smoke below us. We thought it was one of the apartments. We had no idea what was going on.
West Ridge resident Elena Overa and her wife Mona Corey are still in disbelief about their situation. They last visited Puerto Vallarta.
Here's the thing, man. When you have an entire country ran by drug lords, I mean, this is why I never want to visit Mexico. Because Mexico is ran by the mafia, basically. That's the problem. That's a huge problem in my eyes. And because of that, that's why I never want to visit. Why would I? It's suicide. Okay, man, let's take a look here. Okay. Let's see.
20 years ago.
Here we are, 20 years later, and we get this is our dream vacation turned into a nightmare.
Known as El Mencho, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes led the...
I don't know why anybody would actively want to go visit Mexico. I don't understand that. It's ran by the cartel. It's ran by drug cartels. Why would anybody want to visit a place that's ran by drug cartels? That's so stupid.
The Jalisco New Generation Cartel. The DEA says the cartel is a main source of cocaine coming into Chicago. Also, a major producer of fentanyl and methamphetamine.
Yes, exactly. That's why we need to close the borders, bro. We got to close the borders completely.
El Mencho was killed after Mexico's Army Special Forces raided a home in the town of Talpalpa Sunday. Violence erupted across 20 states. Cartel members responded by torching businesses, cars, and buses, and then using the burning vehicles to block roads. Lakeview resident Yanni Pizer, his husband, and some friends found themselves in the middle of the chaos while on their way to go whale watching.
Suddenly there was a young man running towards us with a gun in his hand.
Crazy.
And he ran up to me. I was driving the car, pointed the gun through the window and yelled in Spanish, "Get out of the car."
Mexico's defense secretary says 8 other cartels.
That's freaking wild, dude. That is so incredibly wild to me. I mean, the situation down in Mexico, man, is insanity. Freaking sanity, bro.
Members were killed during the military operation. 25 members of the country's National Guard were killed in clashes across Jalisco. Holly Lickman has visited Puerto Vallarta every February for decades.
We're still up in our room today. Haven't had any more information. And, you know, it's hard to know what to trust.
Jennifer Keltner says it has been a quiet morning. She's hoping to board a flight home later today.
All you really have to do is look down the hill and see that everything's kind of calm. So I'm surprised at that. I expected more last night. So far I'm checked in, so we'll see. I'm not gonna run up to the airport just yet, but so far my flight is on.
Elena Olvera
Yeah, the thing is, just get the hell out of there,
and
dude.
her wife are
Get the heck
debating
out of
whether
there,
to
bro.
cut their
Get
trip
out.
short.
We're going to talk about it. And
No, they should absolutely cut the trip short. Get the hell out of there, dude. Get the heck out of there, dude. That is what you need to do. Leave. Get out of there, bro.
probably stick it out.
Stick it out, really?
El Mencho was also wanted in the U.S., which offered a $15 million reward for information leading to his capture. The White House says it provided intelligence support for the military operation. Back to you.
All right, Judy, and related to that is this.
How crazy is that, though? How insane is that, man? Flippin' wild. It blows my mind, dude. Blows my mind. Insanity. It's just insanity, bro. PayPal. Oh shit, PayPal's back up?
Schlamazon trading at 204.99. Google down 1.1%, and we got Nvidia and Apple in the green. Wow, Apple's really holding its own. I'm impressed.
No, Apple's a great company overall. I mean, they sell expensive products, but the quality of their products, I will admit, Apple, like I'm using an iPad right now that's from like 2012 or whatever, and it still functions like really well at a high level. So I'm a little bit shocked by that. Outside of it, though, man, crazy.
They've surprised me with some of their numbers. For a while there, they were kind of slugging along, but they've really shown some improvements. So I'm proud of Apple. Now, the big news for NVIDIA is, of course, that they report earnings, and I'm yearning for those earnings, in 2 days. So we'll see. So mostly decent amount of red in large tech, except for NVIDIA and Apple. Shocker. All right, the YouTuber stocks. Unity. Oh, look at that chart on Unity, people. Just going down.
So Unity, isn't that a game? Wait, isn't Unity a game development engine? Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe they built an entire company based off that. Yeah, Unity software. Yeah. So I think it's based off the Unity game engine, maybe. I don't know.
Down in a vertical line. It's fallen worse than MicroStrategy. That vertical line down is worse than MicroStrategy.
Micro Wiener strategy.
Unity software, which I made fun of many years ago and got hate for it, of course. Down 7% on the day. Ouch. We got Dave, my Indian brave, Down 6%, trading at 165.50. But they got earnings coming decently soon, I believe.
I don't trust the Dave platform, dude. I think if I remember correctly, Dave is that platform where people can borrow money. Like they actually get to like borrow money or whatever right before they get paid. I just don't think that platform's going to last. So many people are going to forget to pay it back. I just think it ends up being a bad idea at the end of the day. That's my take on it, at least. That's how I see it. Give me a moment here. Damn, dude. Silver is climbing. Look at that, dude. Silver is climbing, and I am sliming. What is happening here, man? Silver's up $80.44. What the fuck? That's a good deal. All right, I'm selling. I'm selling one share. All right. Yeah, I just made a lot of money today. Woo. This is what I get, man. This is what I get for swing trading silver. It always works out in the end, bro. I mean, I wouldn't say it always works out in the end, but my goodness, it's definitely a lucrative deal, I'll tell you that. Flipping insane, though. But yeah, whenever silver goes up, man, I'm a total freak for silver, bro. Hell yeah, dude. I'm telling you, silver and gold, man. Silver and gold are better investments than Bitcoin any day of the week.
We'll see if that changes. So Dave has just been kind of chopping sideways and kind of down to the right. Reddit, my Shreddit, down 5.8%. Man, these stocks are getting shellacked, baby. Even Robinhood, our heroic
Reddit is by the way, Reddit is a terrible company, and it is sad that Reddit is publicly traded. Like, I think Reddit's going to crash and burn eventually as a stock. Is it one of those companies that you should buy the dip on? I don't know. I think Reddit's probably extremely overvalued. I wouldn't be shocked because Reddit's been around for years, and I don't think it's going to be growing that much. If anything, I think there's going to be a steady user decline because of how many woke people are on Reddit. And if you go woke, you go broke.
Clown gambling institution, down 5.6%. Just utter annihilation in the YouTuber stocks. I thought these guys were geniuses. Or maybe they were just buying high beta stocks. I don't know.
Beta.
Down 5%. Duolingo. They got earnings on the 26th. So what is that, Thursday? Trading it.
See, here's the problem. If you create an entire company based on one product and then you publicly trade that company, I don't trust it, man. I don't mind owning like a single share of the company. Sure, why not? But I'm not going to go out of my way to put everything into one specific company. That's just stupid. You want to make sure you got a diversified portfolio. Diversification's a big deal, man. It is a big deal. You got to be diversified, bro. You got to be diversified. Straight up.
At 107, Joseph Carlson. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Those cheeks are mincemeat.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're currently sitting at 8,402 subs. Once again, 8,402 subscribers. We're still trying to climb the pole. We're pulling out hard, man. I got to look up Conspiratard. So there's this guy called Conspiratard, I guess. And at is it Conspiratard? I'll just type it in the best of my ability. Oh yeah, Conspiratard. Let me subscribe to the channel here real quick. Maybe this isn't the same guy. Huh. Well, give me a moment. Let me see if I can find the real 2-cup. Let me see what he's actually calls himself on the internet. Oh, conspire tard. Okay. Ah, here we go. My boy, dude. I'm going to subscribe to him. So he doesn't... I don't think he does any live videos on his YouTube channel. But he does a lot of live videos on... on his X page. So, interesting dude, I got to admit. So follow Conspiratard on YouTube and also follow him on X as well. Interesting fella. Very interesting fella. Let's take a look. Oh, Asmund Gould.
Tourette's campaigner John Davidson allegedly interrupted the ceremony by shouting the N-word at Michael B. Jordan.
No way. No fucking way.
Uh-huh.
I am so curious about this. I am so fucking curious.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to celebrate.
No way. No fucking way.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
No fucking way, dude. I was not expecting that.
Oh my god!
I was not expecting that.
Silent. Everybody heard that shit, and the thing is, he waited for the applause to end, bro. Like this guy waited for the best possible moment. Oh my god,
that's so crazy.
And so apparently
Unreal.
This guy is a Tourette's campaigner. He just said, wow. And so, what is this here? If I could find it, Michael is.
Hey guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you can. The more subscribers we have, the better. It does help us grow. So whatever you guys could do, yeah, it ultimately helps the channel in the end. So the more people who sub, the more people who rub, I guess. Now I appreciate everybody for taking the time to scribe and then subscribe as well. So mucho appreciato. So thank you guys for subscribing. It really does help the channel grow in more ways than one. It does help my mussy feel good, dude. Hell yeah. Give me just a few moments, though. This will take another moment. There we go. Okay.
Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan did what we had to do. Did what we had to do. This guy just ults out of nowhere, man. God damn, was his name Eric Cartman? Nobody could be an old version of Eric Cartman. So
that's funny though,
yeah,
dude. Holy
I don't
crap.
know about this. The Mexican authorities got a woman close to narco boss. I didn't see that at all. It's great advertising though.
That is wild. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty wild.
I mean, you're right. I didn't even see that. The left is attacking the guy for thinking the word. Can you believe that? So let me see. I pull this up, right? So let me go and read some of the comments about this. They thank the audience.
Hey, honey. I'll be done here in just a second.
for their understanding after activist with Tourette's yells the N-word at 2 black actors during the awards ceremony.
And that is wild. Holy crap.
Oh my God, what world are we in? This is amazing.
We're living in bizarro
so
times.
Now,
oh my God.
Bro, people are so stupid, man. I know. Look up Jamie Foxx reply to this. I didn't see anything about this. And I've worried I said Donald Trump's name 3 times. It's like Beetlejuice. Well, he only said the N-word twice. Yeah. If you say it 3 times, it brings back racism, okay? And so what's this? And did we have to, are there any more clips of this here? Sinner's producer said the actor also hurled the wait, he also called her the N-word too.
Oh, no way.
Oh, so he's wilding out.
Oh,
Sinner's
this is crazy.
producer says BAFTA Tourette actor also hurled N-word at her after he shouted it at the stars. So he was just looking at him. Oh my God. Like, this is funny. Let me see. I pull this up and see what it is. And so here's another comment about this. Alien superfan, you don't get to police how black people react to racism. Also, John Davidson is racist and his Tourette's is an excuse. Fuck him.
Oh, that's pretty good. I love it either way. I don't know. I'm pretty neutral for the most part. It's hilarious.
I mean, like, I don't even know, like, what this... I don't know how Tourette's works. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, if the guy... Like, listen, here's my honest opinion, okay? Don't bring people that have Tourette's to an award ceremony and put them close enough to where you can hear what they're saying on the mic.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Oh, my God. Oh... Oh, I can't. That's too good. It's wild. It's wild. That's all I got to say. Let's take a look at the comments real quick. Yeah, not many comments at the moment. That's okay. I'll live with that. Hey, I want to thank everybody for subscribing, though. For now, I'm going to end the stream. I've been streaming for about 2.5 hours roughly. No, 3 hours almost. So I think we'll call it quits for the moment. I'll be streaming a little bit later. I got some stuff I got to focus on. But yeah, this is crazy. It's wild, but... yeah, I think I'm kind of checked out for the moment. So I'll catch y'all later and see y'all later.